I'm
It's
done.
over.
No, don't sue me. But yeah, I rediscovered that I rediscovered her and she has a bunch of Christmas songs. So I was like,
She's Christmas.
she hates Christmas.
I
Oh, don't
am
look at my death.
Freddy Fazbear.
Wait, I need one more death to be 6-7.
Oh,
I need
I'm
one more death.
leaving.
One more death.
How'd you die so
One
much?
more death. Ooh. Ooh. I like your yeah, it's nice. I like your room.
So escalation?
You wanna do escalation? There's
Escalation gives me the most XP.
there's the sharp glass
I'm
event.
trying to.
Get-
Oh wait, yeah, that too. I'm fine with that.
yeah.
Okay. I was doing it on my own and was working on some tasks, so I got a few things I can do. You can do that. Cat.
Cat. It
Cat.
is you.
Cat's too busy playing the horse game. Play Outlast Trials.
What if I stomp on your pyramid?
Worst game, best game.
Stomping on it.
No horse.
Don't do that.
What are you
I
gonna
thought,
do?
I thought I talked about this. No horse.
What are you gonna do? You gonna do anything?
That
Like
gives
horsing
the,
around, you can't stop me having
that
it.
gives the same
You're not my
vibes
mom, you can't tell
from,
me what to do. I'm going to my room.
No horse.
uh,
No
uh,
horses.
Disrespect
like
my
a
French
mama.
man.
No,
from the
no.
Goatman
Wait, from
episode?
Coco.
Coco.
One lady, she
Disrespect
goes,
the
Children
no
grew up
music.
telling stories about me.
This is my bridge now.
Your
This is my
titles-
I'm gonna
pyramid
picture
now.
you like that from now on.
Oh,
What are you gonna do?
See you on it. Congrats on getting first. Time to get in.
oh, Dan's streaming now. Yay!
I did. I joined the thing.
Triple stream.
You work
Let's
today's
do-
out for Mousy Psionic.
Beguile the fucks. Are we all dressed up
You know
in
what I just
Christmas?
realized? I
No, but
probably
we're all
didn't
in
change my
red.
title.
Wiser, how was Baby
Congrats
Joe?
on getting your cheese.
Dude, it was so bad. I missed everybody so much.
Wiser
yeah,
got put in Baby Joe.
don't worry about it. I'll fix that right
Wait,
now.
I can rebirth. We can all rebirth.
No, you
We're
can't.
gonna rebirth after this. We're rebirthing.
No,
Yes.
I don't have perks.
Oh, you don't. Ugh, I already drank like half my drink. Also, I don't have water. Also, I'm very
Thank you, Nix.
not prepared for the stream.
I'll fix the redeem right now.
Right now. Fix it
Right now.
Right now. Yeah, I like me some jazz. You like
Have you eaten
jazz?
dinner, Nix?
You like jazz?
There we go. Now it should only be 2.
Kat says she can't hear us on your stream, Wiser.
Yeah, I did that on purpose because it was probably for the best.
Bitch.
Yeah, he's talking to himself.
They don't need to hear you.
They don't need to hear us. It says you played Arc Raiders.
Yeah, I've been gone a week. Give me a sec.
What, you've been gone for 1 week and suddenly you don't know how to stream? It's so true though.
It
That week
happens.
changed me, man.
I haven't streamed in a few days. I feel like I'm like, well, how do I do this again?
I couldn't even log into Twitch.
Oh.
All because I was like, man, fuck the friend.
Where are we on? Oh, Beguile the Children. Okay, this is Sharp Glass event. So don't step on the glass or else you'll start bleeding,
Yeah.
and that would be very bad. Your tootsies will get all bleedy. You don't want that.
Step on it.
He's doing a pit bull while running around.
Broken.
What?
International love.
Ah.
Let's
Alright,
go.
Let's go. Beguile. Beguile. Oh, someone came
Oh,
right in. Wait, was this?
Oh god, he's right next to the door. That's spawn, you can't do that. That's spawn camping. How do I turn night vision on?
Yeah. Okay. So the first time
Hey Havoc, you want to meet my friend?
no. I mean, is he tall?
I had the wrong rig on.
Is he tall?
Very handsome.
Legos. You know what? They should add Legos To
You
this
called me a
instead of glass. It's replaced by Legos. That's a good idea. We're live, baby. I gotta.
I
do
got the
trap
wrong
doors.
rig on.
Shh. Wiser, use your body.
You got this, Havoc. I'm taking your hiding spot.
He wants your body, not my body.
He's on me.
He's into twinks, I think.
He hit me in the middle of the air. It's cool.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm a floating circle.
What did
there's
Havoc tell it? Or no, what did Cat tell
a
you?
Very. I have a shape that is true, but you know. Oh, I have to wait for y'all. I think. What?
I'm already about to die.
Why are you dying?
That's not. Wait. you're not
Because
supposed to die.
he
Why
hit
are
me.
you dying?
Ow, what am I? Oh, glass.
Ads are gonna start. Oh no, go away.
He hit me
If I
once and
snooze
then...
ads, will there be more ads? I hope not.
No, it just delays it
Step
for
on
like
glass.
5 minutes.
No, you stepped on the glass.
Oh, I did. Ah.
No, you stepped on it.
Oh, you stepped on the glass. Oh, you. No, you. Oh, posters. No, you. Oh,
You stepped on
Why
glass.
is there so much? This place is a hazard.
The event is the
Yeah,
glass
hop
event. You
over
have to
the
not step on it.
I don't know how OSHA signed off on any of this.
I don't know, but let's go now. We gotta go now. Let's go.
It's just a
Now.
gas man.
I don't care who it
Hello,
is.
sir.
Wiser, you
I want to see the Stilly gas man.
I pranked him.
doesn't have a launch.
Get
curve.
pranked.
I have one single curve.
You didn't have to hit him. He was leaving.
Glass. Ow.
I have one
Have
singular
slippers on.
curve,
Why is glass a
and
problem?
it like never ends.
That's only
you
for
know?
silent. It doesn't make
Oh,
you
shoot.
immune to the damage.
I gotta write
Yeah, but
shit
they're
down.
like-
Oh no, 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 no,
Good
no.
slippers.
Oh no. I gotta write shit down. Forgot. Up. I have the memory of a goldfish.
I've eaten. Have you eaten?
I have not eaten. Well, that's a lie. I ate small things. Now I'm eating Cheetos and drinking. I feel like that's a good combination.
Oh no.
Spicy Cheetos.
I wasn't planning on drinking. I'm on an
Oh.
empty stomach, y'all. This is gonna get interesting.
It's just glass everywhere.
Eyeball.
Irie, congrats on getting your daily cheese. How you doing?
Cheese. I love me some cheese.
Oh, cheese sounds so good right now.
Yeah.
You sound so good. But you
Why
ain't
is there's
made of
not cheese?
I know.
But what if I was?
Nah.
I can
been
be cheese.
pranked.
If that's what you want me to be, I can be cheese.
I could be anything you want me to be.
Good, how are
Where
you
the fuck
guys?
are you?
We're doing good.
You're not Jan?
I almost died.
Aww. I want to sit on the throne. Hello? I want to sit on the throne and look all cunty like
Have
Leon
you
Kennedy.
eaten? Number 4.
Burger King.
We.
Foot
Right here,
lettuce.
right
The last thing you'd expect when going to Burger King is someone's foot fungus.
What?
Yes. Hello, ma'am.
Hot Cheetos now? Cheetos sponsor me.
What's that sound?
Did you find what the sound was?
Taki sponsor me.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, what the hell?
I like both, but if I had to pick between spicy Cheetos and Takis, I would always pick Takis. Takis
You know,
are
I'm always
die.
like, I gotta try Talkies one
Still
of these
am. I ate a
days.
while ago.
And then
Oh, you're
Well, what'd you eat?
okay. You're fine.
real.
And it do be too. Why you awake?
I don't know why I'm in here.
Always like, I gotta
Oh,
try-
hello and
It's fun, what did you
goodbye.
It's spawn right next.
Man, what the hell? Get off me. Spawned next to me, and then there was a guy behind me.
Oh, you got-
You okay? Did you step in glass again? Oh no, you're
No,
getting.
he's getting jumped up there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hold on, let me swap to my thing so I can disarm this, and then I open the door.
Dan, do you have a friend with you?
No, he's downstairs, and so is the Jaeger.
What's all this crap?
You here?
I got the Jaeger,
Intensive,
don't
by the way.
worry.
She after your cake?
Yeah.
That's lock.
I don't.
Aha, get pranked. That didn't do
What?
anything.
Oh.
There's also chicken meatballs.
This is
I
the
kind
wrong
of forgot about me, so I
Why,
gotta throw it
sir?
together.
This
That's
is the
okay.
wrong thing.
As long as you
I
eating.
was getting attacked by a person with a knife.
This is the
I couldn't
wrong
retrieve.
one, you
I couldn't
silly.
retrieve.
This. Oh, this is 2. We need 2. 2's up here. Uh-oh.
Who has 2?
I can't lock that.
I can't believe I got
Oh.
stabbed in the back, and you're like, Wiser, this isn't where this goes.
Here. Ooh, evidence. I totally missed that. Okay, we're gonna grab those. Jan, the second one is where we...
I am getting the Jaeger. I will not be helping you guys.
Oh. Hurry, Wiser!
Oh!
Grab the
Stepped on
thing!
that.
Run!
I'm not doing anything.
And I'm awake
He's
because I
coming.
can't ruin
Grab
my
it.
streaks, of course.
Grab it,
That's
run.
okay, and thank you. I mean, you can catch up tomorrow. You have like 24 hours. I think I'll stream again
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I got the thing.
Sarah,
24
congrats on
hour
getting
Outlast
your
Shelter.
daily cheese. How you doing? What'd y'all think of that Minecraft movie, though?
Did you just say
Minecraft
24-hour
Yeah.
stream of this game?
When did I stream awards?
I can do that.
Because Minecraft movie got nominated
what?
for something.
Bro,
Oh.
can she not go through this door? Wait, she can't go through this door.
Oh. I stepped in glass, but I didn't bleed.
Get pranked, I'm juking her.
Must be nice.
Don't remind me of. Well, what did you think about it? I mean, it was too good.
My feet are made of concrete. Ow, ow, there we go. There's the glass. Ow.
I saw the Minecraft movie
I
in
gave
like
the bandages to
4D. My chairs were vibrating.
I'm bleeding.
It was brain rotting. That's true. How are you doing, Sarah? Have you eaten dinner?
Wait,
Jaeger's gone.
I watched. One time I watched Minecraft. The Minecraft movie was with
Yeah,
you,
we
Jan.
watched it together. We had the amazing quality one.
Yeah, we did the one where it wasn't fully like, it wasn't fully finished. So
We got the early
Animated
release access.
mouths weren't moving. There were people that were like dressed up as the villagers and weren't animated. That was interesting.
Yeah, we watched
I
the
think there was
peak
a lot
version.
of green screen. Isn't there
I want that
gonna be
hour and a half
second
back.
Minecraft movie?
How could you? I mean, they got Alex. That's like a hint.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hello?
Damn, she moved.
Ah! Ah! Wait, wait,
you
I'm supposed
kidding
to
me?
drink. Does that count? Damage by stepping on the glass? That counts as
Yeah.
a drink, right? Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, but I finally finished
Every time you take
breaking
damage, you get
bread apart.
Every time
Nice.
you lose damage. So, Wiser, you should be like wasted by now.
Wait, you
didn't know
said
that's
two's
a rule.
upstairs?
And I didn't see anything about it. I didn't even know.
Where's
when
number
it
2
got
go?
released. Don't you have nephews?
That's where number 2 goes.
Oh. I feel like you would
Upstairs?
hear from
Okay.
them about the Minecraft.
Thanks for answering.
I didn't do anything.
Anytime, Husbando.
How do I get upstairs?
The stairs.
Okay, I still
What
need
if
to
you're
take it out
laughing?
anyway.
Ah,
Wait, is there a staircase on the right side easier?
I have no opinion of the Minecraft movie.
It was peak.
It was peak. It was a cultural phenomenon. That's all I
Yeah,
have
we
to say.
watched the bad version. We should have watched the best
It was the
version.
unfinished. The unfinished version. That was like illegally online. Because I didn't
It
want to pay
wasn't
money for
illegal.
it.
It was legal. It was on Disney Plus. Also, the
Disney Plus.
fireman's out here.
Is the Jaeger gone? Hi Tim,
He's-
what's up? How are
She's
you?
been gone.
I have no perception of time.
I mean,
Look
I'm
at
back
that,
here
that
walking
was
around.
speaking in ancient tongues.
How do I get upstairs?
Oh.
I don't remember her name. Mommy something? Whatever her name is on me.
The duck lady?
Yeah,
Oh,
Gooseberry.
Gooseberry, that one.
What about her?
She's on me.
She's on top of
hot
Wiser.
damn. Damn. I know you were into that.
Rigo's, or
Ugh.
yeah, Rigo's here.
Amigos here?
Amigo's here.
I'm getting 2.
Yeah, 2 was upstairs.
I'm at it. I'm at it.
I found another one. Hopefully it's the right
gonna
one.
ask my
Nope,
chaps.
it's the wrong one.
He's gonna ask my chaps.
Why, sir? You have number 4? Come
See.
here.
2 is club. The
Club?
shoot. What is that? I don't
Oh my
remember my
God, Jada's
poker.
club.
The the one that's like a heart upside down.
Spade.
That's a
Spade
spade.
is
That's the spade. See, I was testing you guys.
So both yours and 4 are spade.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Hey, Skippy, how are you doing? So it's possible to have 2 of the same.
Yeah.
Things.
Well, which one do we need
2
left?
and 4 are spade.
Spade and spade, and I have number 3. So I'm trying
3
to look
was
for
on the
number
middle
3.
floor. I saw it.
The first
I
floor?
passed
Yeah, I gotta work mine.
by it. The glass
How's the
floor.
chaos? We just started.
Glass floor.
Oh, that could have passed. Thank you.
So 2 and 4
We're
are
doing the-
spades.
Yeah, 2 and 4, and the first one is eyeball. Oh, here we go. How are you doing, Skip Beat? Oh, okay, 3 is heart.
All right, I'm here at the thing. We just need to do one last. I just need to
me
put the
check
last
my-
thing in.
Dailies. I got bash open 3 locked doors.
I gotta use night vision for 300 seconds.
Stop the bleeding.
We can do the locked doors pretty easily. You just lock a door and then go around.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do that all the time. Here we go. Here's a locked door. I think you have to go around because it
Yeah.
automatically unlocks it. You can't kick it down.
Well, the
do
gooseberries
this
here.
one here. Gooseberry. Sleepy saw you want to bug real quick. Oh, bug away. Bug away.
She better not come this way.
And I'll do this. Ha. There we go. I did it. Sharp glass. Stop your bleeding 15 times.
Damn.
Oh god, oh god. For some reason, I literally thought the Jaeger came back again. It's just the environment, the noise.
I'm just pranking this guy. Get pranked.
I can't tell if there's an airplane being like constantly like flying over my house or if it's the game. I think
That's probably the game.
it's probably the game. I live next to an airport.
You look next to an airplane.
Yes, I live right
You
next to it. I
are
live
the
in an
airplane?
airplane. Okay. Why are you making those noises?
I'm just really excited by this level.
I can tell. Spicy
I'm like
water.
Neil on the way
I'm
up.
coming back.
I'm just listening to this.
Is there any more
You
locked doors over
lurking?
here?
All right.
Wait, can you lock
try
this
not to die
door?
Too much. I'm gonna try not to die.
You guys
doing
lock this
thing where
door?
If I... Oh, lock. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm doing this thing where if I
Thank God.
get hurt, then I take a drink of the.
Open
apple juice.
up.
Open up. Can you do an R1? Are you good?
Are we ready?
Yes.
Well, what's 3?
Heart. Stars and clovers. Rainbows and balloons. How many shots are we in? I'm not taking shots. I'm taking sips. If I
Is
took
this,
shots, I would be
um,
fucking dead. I can't really do shots. My gag reflex would be like,
Take a Jaeger bomb every time you take damage.
Jesus.
That's a good idea. Oh, I'm taking damage.
Whee! Oh shoot, my rig's not ready.
Hold on.
Oh.
He's coming this way.
Uh-oh.
You made her dodge. Get down from there!
Oh, she got hops. She got hops. Y'all are so mean.
Oh, there's a brick right here. Where is she?
Really
I'm gonna head out.
bright.
There we go.
Spicy water.
I need more.
Spicy.
I need to hit him because I got
mouth
damaged a
water.
lot.
This is Jack Daniel's blackberry. I don't know how. Is
That sounds
blackberry
fire.
new?
Huge.
It's good. Hey,
sounds so
blast!
good.
Yay! Napping.
Yeah, I got damaged a lot.
9 times. Okay.
6 times? What?
Damn.
No, I got damaged.
Damn.
Touching the glass up hurts you.
Okay, so the final report just says how many times you get hurt, so that's one way to keep track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I
doing.
had a.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw it
what
when I
I'm
was on
doing.
vacation. I saw it on vacation. And I'm like, I can't bring this bottle to the airport, so I just waited till I got home to get some last weekend. It's really good. I also like the Jack Daniel's cider, hard cider. Not that strong. They're really good though.
Well, if I had the right rig, it'll been perfect. Sorry, mister.
I make it look easy because it is easy. Right?
Yeah.
Yay,
Master
humiliation.
key. Oh, cures full psychosis. Slow enemies with the heal rig.
Oh,
bro.
Master Heat? We have to do a big trial for that. 6 trials.
I need to get the other rigs because
I need to do one more trial of the sharp glass.
you are beautiful. You are deserving of love. She didn't even finish saying it.
You're deserving of Oh, we can do kill the politician, pervert the butterman. Wait, that's the sex factory. Which I
just need more
thoroughly
tickets.
enjoy.
You
Kill
heard
the
it here
politician?
first, guys.
I haven't been to
What?
the mall in a little bit. Let's go shopping.
Havoc thoroughly enjoys the sex factory. Someone clip that.
Boy, if you
Yeah,
don't.
we spent 2.5 hours in there.
Yeah, the first time we went on there, we didn't know what to do.
Was that the one with the conveyor belts?
Yeah, you have to like you have to move
Yeah.
a box from one conveyor belt to
And
another.
we moved the box in the same conveyor belt, and we were
Professional
waiting for
boob
like half
buckler,
an
thank you
hour.
for the follow.
It was an escalation mission. We had a Jaeger and toxic.
That's right. Because every 10 escalation missions, it's a long one.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was
I was like, I
awful.
already put the box in there, and the box was still in my own conveyor belt instead of the one that I was supposed to go to.
Yeah, we're supposed to
Professional
move from one.
boob suckler. Thank you for the follow. It's cheese to meet you.
I just want to get a PhD in that degree. In that
You just have to
field.
do it a lot, and then you become professional.
I wish.
Isn't that how jobs work? Job experience?
What kind of boobs? Like, does it matter which kind of boobs? Are we talking male boobs or female boobs? I guess it doesn't matter. Uh-oh, Wiser?
Crazy
There
name.
you are. You
Yes.
teleported.
It's perfect for the trials.
I like it too. I like that name. Thank you for the follow.
I was just trying to vibe
First-
earlier in my song, and then the big dude smacked me. And then it hit me in the mind.
Oh, crazy mine?
Yeah, it actually almost made me go full psychosis, because I was laying down in the mine. He smacked me right on top of it. So I took double damage and the psychosis. Sat in there for like an hour.
I have a beautiful clip of me. I got crazy, ran into mine, got full psychosis, ran into nausea traps, threw up, got whacked, and while I was on my way down, I hit another psychosis mine.
Nice.
It was beautiful. So we're still doing sharp glass.
Yeah. Sorry, your
And-
shoes won't matter, Wiser.
Your shoes will not matter. So what was the one with the master? Oh, one time. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah. Oh wait, you weren't there when I was doing solo psychosurgery. Where
Ugh,
I
was
started it and then Jaeger instantly spawned.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I went inside the building and then the Jaeger was in front of me.
I would have DC'd. I'd be like, no.
I mean, I still did it, but like it was annoying because I had to run her around
I do
for an
not
extra like
care
3
for that.
minutes.
I was playing an MK trial on my own, and literally,
I should have just restarted. It's an MK, right?
uh-oh.
Or is this the full the full one?
This is the full one.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, I can't move. Hello. I'm stuck in a room with a big dude.
Do you want to get this, Wiser? To
Not
disarm
in a
that?
good way.
That's one of your weeklies, I think, to disarm like 15 door traps.
Yeah.
I don't have a jammer. I need to upgrade it.
I have a thingy.
We just spawned behind you. Wiser, why are you taking it?
No, I'm just disarming it.
Yeah, but you converted it into yours, so why'd you just destroy your own trap?
Game. My game.
Because I didn't know that.
That's what your jammer does.
Oh.
Oh my god,
Uh-oh.
it's Sado Havoc too.
That's not me. Unless.
Outlast?
Huh? Wait,
Oh.
what? Original creator of Rockefeller was based
Yeah,
on just how to
anything
What?
you touch, I think, can become your own trap. So we can
Designer
run into
recommended
it.
to be Fandroid and where he was in 2025 times out of original creator. I don't know if I understand these words. You know what I found out recently, actually? Little Nightmares 3. I
Mhm.
knew it wasn't by the same people that did Little Nightmares 1 and 2. But I didn't know that it was the same developers that did all the Dark Picture anthology games. I'm like, no wonder this feels so
Wait, really?
soulless to play.
It was Dark Picture people. Excuse me, ma'am. Don't touch
We
me.
did that one. Oh. We did that one.
We played the
Uh-oh.
worst one.
Oh, that was the worst one?
Yeah.
Little Hope?
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like that one.
Oh, I got hurt. I got whacked.
Yeah, you
Drinking.
did.
Alright, we gotta go shopping now.
I need to find a brick so I
Wait,
can open these locked
did-
doors.
Did you pick Little Hope on purpose because it was the worst one?
It was the only one on
Need a brick.
sale.
It was the. Oh, I was gonna say.
The other ones weren't on sale.
I was gonna say because there's no way I'm spending money on something like that. I remember it being
Oh,
on
thank you.
sale.
Here. You can have it.
I'm not a
If
fan of
you
any of them.
see a
I never
thing
played all of
that's
them, so.
a lock, I can open it.
Goodbye. What's this fuck boy? Oh, you're not Jan. I mean you. I mean
I have another brick for you.
Okay, well, I got
Uh-oh. I'm
another
out of-
bottle for you. Have you broken 3 doors yet?
Oh.
No.
I think you need to bash 3 today.
Ooh, I found a secret.
The secret entrance.
No. This is a secret.
If you want to bash through this door too.
Just another Drake. Drake.
Or I'll lock it so then you can bash it.
Wee.
There's so many posters back here. Oh my god.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now I understand. Ooh, I get.
What?
Oh, I understand now. Facts.
Oh, that's thing.
Hello.
How'd you
Oh,
get out of
grandma,
there,
and
man?
grandpa.
Button. I found a button that says press, and I'm. Should I
What
press
was
it?
that? Press it.
Do it.
Press it.
Pressing the button.
Press it. Feel the power of the
Button
ancients.
is. Oh, I feel it.
See you later, buddy.
Bitch, get away from me. What do you mean? No. Uh-oh. I know that works. You heard the bottle break. Why did you turn around and go
It
after
was
me?
a fake bottle. I'm coming.
So when can I let go of the button?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That you found the secret entrance. I'm
cornered
coming.
with grandma, grandpa, and a third.
But there's a door that's locked in my way. And I can't get in it. Yeah, you have to unlock the door for me.
Can I leave?
You have to unlock that door.
Oh,
Watch out, there's a big lady. Don't go that way.
oh dear lord.
Be cool.
Grandma and grandpa are here.
Wait, I still got hit by that? Actually, I wanted to be psychosis. Never mind.
I'm out of here.
Alright, I'm coming over there, Weiser. Where's it at?
Leaving.
This lady's still here.
Goodbye.
Eh? The
We
buttons or the door?
Yeah, the button.
the buttons for the door. We
Okay,
need
hold on,
4
there's a manual.
fuses. Oh shit.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, I put one in. Are my frames? The mall makes my frames drop like crazy.
There's a enemy here. Every time I walk towards you, there's enemies.
Bitch, I said what I said. Oh wait, what am I
Yeah,
doing
he's
here?
walking
What am I
back in now. What the fuck?
I want to take a gummy and play this game. I have taken a gummy and played this game.
I threw a bottle.
Yep.
Uh,
Wait, you can just jam the door. Why don't you get the door?
I don't know, the buttons seem more fun.
Jan, you gotta jam the door.
Why? We need to find where the other button is.
I'm holding the other button.
Oh dear God! Ah! I got
Okay.
a smidge. Ah,
It's
Well, now I'm
open,
not holding the other button. I'm gonna hit in the butt.
bro.
it was a smidge. I breathed on the glass. Why am I bleeding?
I distracted him. Just stay quiet.
I gotta take a sip.
I said stay quiet. Why are you closing it so loud?
Shh, just
Bleeding.
gotta stay quiet.
Yeah, it's fine. You can heal up. You have the health thing here. You didn't even need the bandage.
Probably need to get more drink.
Chad, I don't know this game.
You do know the game.
You should know this game. We play it like
You're level
every
47.
day.
Doesn't mean I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
You're a level.
Yeah, you have the extended
7.
battery booster, the stamina booster, the
Oh,
health
when
booster
you're done
over
with that
here.
master key, can I borrow it?
No.
I need it for my challenge, please. Please.
What do I need to do with the master key?
Please. You gotta unlock something once. Yeah, get away from me! Bitch,
Oh,
I'm out of here.
Well, we need to find something locked.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
see,
this
look,
way.
I refills you.
I have another key.
Yeah, you saw
Oops,
that.
Booster. Wait a second. I can't go this way. I can't go that way. I could go this way.
You need to find a locked thing.
Something about the mall just makes everything go cray cray. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh no, how the hell did he hit me? Bro,
Oh.
that guy's cheating. She's cheating. She got X-ray aim on. What the hell?
Hit me.
How'd she hit me through those curtains?
Y'all got you good? You good?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a lock thing so that I can unlock something.
Shooting! Did I not change the sound alert? I guess. Oh, here's a thing right here, Jan.
You were across the map.
Shooting, thank you for the resub! Thank you! And I'm holy hell, I can't believe it's been that long. I think the most impressive thing is that when I first came here, it was Alice. Was it? Oh my god, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Shooting, I appreciate
That's
you
pretty
so
good.
much. Thank you for the 29 months.
I
How are you
found one.
doing?
You can come over here.
I hope you're doing well. You're having a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a good
I'm gonna drop it right here,
Thanksgiving.
Havoc.
Don't drop it. Just bring
Nope,
it to
I'm
me.
dropping it. Nope. I don't have room.
Ugh. Oh, I almost ran into nausea traps.
Hey, it's almost 2 years.
I guess first. I mean, I have been playing this game for a couple of years. Remember when it wasn't even fully out? It was just Gooseberry and the
Yeah,
cop.
it's only like 2 missions.
This. Hold on, I gotta change something. The frames are like.
Here, eat this, lady.
Okay, while
Throw
you're
that at me again.
making her eat it. Hopefully this doesn't crash my game. Hopefully this doesn't crash my game. Crashes my game. I don't
I
know
found
why.
another area to put the fuse. It was upstairs. Do you have a fuse on you, Wiser?
No, I got a whole lot
Freaking-
of nothing. I don't,
oh yeah, you were
You
talking
can,
about
there's you can get in
Skyrim.
there.
You had 29 months.
Yeah, in there.
Oh, the
The lights are on,
graphics
so we can get the thing.
look ain't better if I'm gonna be for real. Where's the master key?
I dropped it. It's in the second floor.
Oh.
That's where I'm at. There's a lock of tuna here too.
Oh shit! Wait, I can't jump over that.
I can help you.
Yes. Dan. Wait, I got. Yeah.
But
You.
it's over here.
Oh,
It's on the
God.
ground.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I did not mean to throw the other bottle, bro.
I was in my settings. How dare you?
Get prawned, get
I was
prawns.
changing my playlist. Oh, I got bonked. That means I gotta drink.
Are you kidding me? I ran straight into that.
Everyone, drink.
Let me use that.
You can come over for leftovers. I promise to eat off my own plate.
Do we have 4?
Okay, fuses are good.
Okay, I have another one so we can open the back door.
Spend $60 and win
Forgot
something.
$6.
Whoa. Black Friday sale. Here, someone
yeah,
grab this
Black
extra
Friday.
fuse. I can bring the twins away. Grab this fuse. Where's the twins at?
I'm getting ready to on guard. Wait, wasn't companions? Is that the main quest in Skyrim? I don't remember.
Oh, dang it, I just ran away. You
Oh.
did not just hit me through the wall.
He's totally wall hacking.
You didn't grab the fuse havoc that I left on the ground in front of you.
Oh. I got it. Whee! I got it. Boys, are you playing with grandma and grandpa?
Against my will, yes.
Whee!
Oh, yeah, jump.
Jammer doesn't really help with stunning.
Which one?
Oh, I might
Makes
die
them-
here.
Makes it for Imperials versus Stormcoast. There's a few main ones. There's also the one with the graybeards. Wiser, you need to hide.
Oh, sir, I need some health.
My character's not having a great day.
Wiser, you
Where
need
is
to
he?
hide and heal.
Where are the twins at?
This is $4. What a ripoff.
There's $2.
Why was this all the way back there? Also, it's
Where the hell is he?
less. It's on sale. Or $5, a whole $5.
Yes, he's coming. He's coming. Look out, look out, look out.
Is run, run,
Look out, run. I need you guys to stay in there. I'm trying to
I
I'm
Lead him
just
out.
healed.
Wiser, why are you going back in?
I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing.
I hate
There's
it
a
here.
Jaeger coming behind you, Havoc. Look out.
Right, it's your grandma, grandpa. Time to run. Get
Jaeger's
outta
right
here.
there. I got her. I got him. Hey, can you guys come close? There we go. Thank you.
Jesus.
You can go back in there, Havoc.
Oh.
Havoc, I stunned him. Go back in there.
Okay.
What
What
the
do you
hell?
mean? Wiser, what happened?
I'm scared. I got poisoned. I was bleeding.
I have 3
No, I'm
enemies on me.
bleeding.
I got
Yeah,
every
dude.
form of hepatitis.
No, now I have hepatitis. I stopped bleeding for like 2 seconds.
This is great because the Jaeger's blocking the twins.
I stepped up last again.
Yeah, another Skyrim one is, $15. Yeah, it was the, Greybeards. And you go Fustura. I'm stepped in glass! I can't see where I'm going with this big box. I stepped in glass again! Oh, Watcher's down again.
What? How? There's like no enemies there.
Can't watch where I'm going if the big box is in my way.
You need to get wiser. I have the Jaeger and the twins
Wiser.
on me.
Oh wait. Shit, Wiser. Wiser, why did you go off on your own?
Because I was
told you not-
bleeding and I needed to
I
find
told you not
help.
to do
I'm
that.
sorry.
I told you to stay with. Ah, now I'm bleeding again.
Hey, I'm also
Miser.
bleeding.
Weird.
Bleeding party.
Now I'm bleeding. We're all bleeding. I gotta take a sip. Extract.
Oh, there's bandages right there.
I'm drinking. I'm
Jesus
scared. I don't know what I'm doing. Things are chasing me.
Miser, if you weren't bleeding, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Something behind me.
Is there even anything that can kill you guys over there?
Huh?
Clearly.
Well, I have
Us?
both of the 2 dangerous things on me.
You've already
I'm,
you already got
my own
grandma,
stupidity is
grandpa.
the most dangerous thing in this trial.
Is the glass is too strong.
Cha, 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 cha.
The stationary thing that doesn't
White
move
run,
has always
y'all.
been where it
They are
was.
evil.
That's the most
Can't count
dangerous
right.
part.
White run. Oh, white run. That's right.
Yo, the Jaeger's kind of helping me loop this guy because she's so slow. She's just blocking the twins.
She's blocking.
Yeah, they're just walking behind him. He's actually helping me. Oh, shoot, she left. He's no longer helping me.
I be ballin'.
I missed a
ballin',
Band-Aid.
yo, ballin', ballin', ballin'.
And I stepped on glass again.
Peter's gonna hate. Peter's gonna hate. Yeah, mama's gonna hate. Swag, 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 swag. Does anyone know what I'm quoting? Please.
I thought you were singing the song I'm listening to right now in the background.
Wiser, I need you to be my eyes.
I can't see glass on the ground. You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, you know what? That's very fair. You stepped in every
Someone
single glass
actually-
pile in this trial so far.
Someone actually should redeem take your glasses
I'm
away.
your old boy, finna be ballin', ballin', ballin'. I be ballin'. That's some old school, like, brain rot. Oh, I love it. What's it, Manslayer on YouTube? I still watch his stuff. He also did, I think he also did Skyrim Shuffle.
The Skyrim
Is
Shuffle.
that what? Do the Skyrim Shuffle. I could
There's a big toothpick peeking.
for your pants because they're wet.
How close are you guys?
We need 10 more cents.
Alright, I'm not stopping
Oh,
them
it's
anymore.
$60. We need 10 more cents and $10.
Alright, you guys got it. I'm
I
not
can't
up to...
math right now.
Oh my god, I didn't want to use that adrenaline.
I think after you meet the gray bears, they start showing. up,
Welcome in,
right?
soccer.
No,
How
they
you
pop up
doing?
all over the place.
$5.
The twins are coming back.
Can I get a $5, $56, $56? We're so chill at shopping.
Once you stop stepping on the glass, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
If you just stop stepping on a glass, you
Sakura
can
knows the song you were talking about. She's saying swag.
swag. Sakura.
Have fun, looks
Ooh,
bloody. Yeah, we
thanks,
have
best.
a event right now where you step on glass, you start
Yeah.
bleeding.
I haven't been got once.
Oh, Grandpa and Grandma are back. Oh,
Yeah,
they
I
heard
said I
me.
left them. Just the other big lady started showing up.
I got nipped. I got nipped.
And I'm getting chased by another guy.
I got nipped.
How are you, Sakura? You have any plans for the rest of the weekend? DJ?
DJ Kelly.
No, it's the
DJ Marky
The-
Mark
the
in the
song.
building.
Are we done shopping?
I don't know, I left you guys for like 10 minutes.
We need for $3 more. That should be it.
We
Enough.
did it!
We did it. Woo!
Confetti! Wiser, let's go!
Activate the dragons because I haven't talked to the White Run Jarl. Oh.
You just gonna sleep all day tomorrow?
Oh.
You missed?
It's just everywhere.
And I stepped on glass.
I saw that. Heard that. Whee! Stop moaning behind me.
I'm just so excited about political
way.
events.
I'm just so excited.
Just gonna sleep all day tomorrow? How could you?
Here,
Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Big lady, big lady, big lady.
She's stunned.
Start filling the
Sorry, I
water.
forgot,
What?
you gotta talk to the Jarl before doing any dragon shit.
Drinking
I want to play
decent nuts.
Skyrim now. I was playing Elder Scrolls Online yesterday.
Nice.
Took me like an hour to upgrade.
Zogar, how about Overwatch instead?
Oh well, watch.
Overwatch, the new character's out.
Oh,
Probably be on later tonight.
oh well, watch.
What are you doing later tonight?
I did
And
it.
how
I'm
late?
masked.
Congrats.
So there's two. On
We
the
have one
first
next.
server.
We have one at the pet store.
Oh, there's.
Pet store and the cat hut.
I'll go right. You go left.
I'll go second floor to the bookstore.
Sure.
Bookstore
I love Elder
and sound
Scrolls.
store. Alright, I'm going upstairs.
Oh, hello. I be ballin'.
Well, I'm on now, just doing some thingies. But tomorrow
I
night.
am Lord of the Rings.
Tomorrow night. I don't know how late I can stay up though. I got
Jen goes to
I
bed
got
at, like,
gym in the morning.
7 p.m.
I did that one time. I actually went to bed at 6 p.m.
Jesus. That's some dedication. I will say that.
Well, no, I
I'm
was just
such-
tired.
Oh, that's true. Go that
Little
way.
tender, how you doing?
I'm the opposite of a morning.
Congrats on getting your daily cheese.
I know how to math. What was the number?
I'm
98.
getting the
Oh, that's
old
not-
fuse.
Let's use your body.
He's been using it.
It's your obsession with me using my body.
Use your body. You make the perfect meat shield.
There you go.
Nope. Oh,
It
he
was the
bombed.
pet store,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I stunned him.
Yes, I'm an unmorning
it's over here.
person.
Alright, let's do
Sleeping in, though,
math.
sleeping in for me is like 9:30.
90.
I wish I was a morning person. I feel like
Yeah, minus 8 is now.
be a joy.
Lizard,
Everything would be joyous.
Why do I
What
hear a
do
bunch of
you mean,
lizard?
lizard.
You
Wait, what?
bitch.
Why is there lizards? What's happening?
Lizard.
What
Lizard.
was that? Oh, it
Lizard.
was a Tanja, thank you. I didn't realize. I was confused. There was
I
just a
threw
bunch
the
of lizard.
bottle, but I got
Talking about
attacked.
tired, I can't miss my sleep too much long. Good night. Yes, good night, Irie. Thank you for
Good
stopping in. I will tuck you in.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Bam.
Lizard, lizard. I gotta get more.
Have a good night.
Drank.
Thank you for stopping by.
Good
I
night.
did the math for you.
You what now?
Damn.
The pressure valve things.
Yep.
I did
What was
the
it?
work.
Why's use your body? Hurry.
Should be another
Wait,
one
is
at
it done?
the...
I did the.
Done.
Yeah. That's
This is
what I was
done.
saying. Is I did the thing.
I did it all by
Yeah, 7.
myself. I'm so smart.
Don't worry. Get you
Oh, why is
7
I
hit
heal
bets.
for you.
92.
Stop getting far away. Here. Take. Take it.
Thank you.
I
This
need
will
more
last me
drink.
5 minutes until I step on another shard of glass.
My favorite number is
This
6.
thing and this
My
thing.
second favorite number is 7.
Alright, got the other ones.
shit.
The other ones should be downstairs left side. Excuse
Oh,
me,
we
sir.
got 2 downstairs.
Bam! I got 2 upstairs.
Uh-oh. Oh, you did?
Yeah. So we should be done.
So, wait. It's 5.
Yeah, there should be one over here where I'm at. Excuse me, ma'am.
Jan!
Don't touch me.
Need more drink.
Did I just lose my whole brick?
I'll be right back. I'll get more drink.
I forgot what the store was, which had the pipe.
I can look if you tell me what I'm looking at on the map.
The red things.
Yeah, but which one are you?
I did the one is upstairs, the top one. We need the bottom ones.
Oh, B. Whatever B is on the first floor is glowing red.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's
it's
the
like right
one,
next to
the pet shop. That's what I said. We need one more.
Yeah, that's one right next to you. I have stepped on glass again. Havoc.
Nice.
Like you
Havoc's
do.
not even here. That's the big lady.
Oh, that's not. I'm lost.
Sir. Let me just look for the pet store and then go behind it.
Pet shop. Yeah, but there's a maniac in front of it, and I'm poisoned then.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I am a hazard to myself and others in this game.
It's fine. It's fine. Doing great. Look, there's a healing thing here. And there's a guy screaming right there.
You guys winning? Are you winning, son?
Yeah.
Always winning.
Yes, Papa, I'm winning.
Yes, I win.
Stolen. Where's it at?
Why are y'all biting me? Jaeger, hello. I was eeping. I'm back.
Oh,
We need
we
got
just need
more.
to,
Made this
Minus
scroll stronger
10?
than I liked.
and plus 11.
Yeah.
Alright, quick mats. Let's go back.
Ugh. Well, thanks for hugging everyone. What the fuck just happened?
We're ready to start pumping. There's a guy chasing you behind you.
Reality just shifted around me.
The
Jen,
moon
do
is
you have a
in
friend?
retrograde.
Yeah, I
We
know.
are
all
experiencing
have to be
technical
here. No, we don't.
difficulties. Please stay
Are we
tuned.
pumping?
Are we all clear?
I just start
You should.
pumping.
We're all clear. Great.
Am I on
All right,
pause?
hit the red
Am I-
button.
Technical
Oh,
difficulties.
that is.
What is happening?
Oh wait, we gotta wait for the cutscene. Cutscene.
Thank you, Tanner. I was so confused. The guy's there, I
Thank you
think.
for that.
The guy's there.
Oh, who the fuck hit me?
The guy's
Where
there.
are
Is
you?
my mic on?
Hey, Havoc, watch out
No.
for that guy.
Your mic is not.
Hey guys, the
on.
guy is there.
Thank you.
I
Hey,
saw
guys,
him.
there's
I
a
was
dude
just like,
there.
Start
Oh,
pumping.
I'm still being pursued.
Start pump. I'll pump. I'll pump.
I gotta take a sip. I'm not doing so good in this one.
Shoot 'em.
Oh goodness. There's glass there. Glass. Don't step on the glass. Oh, I just
How the hell?
double stunned him. Is that how that works?
How did I get hit though?
He has a small PP.
I got him again. How the?
I got him.
Why did he hit me again? Havoc hit the thing.
I can't hit the thing.
What do you
Yeah, hit
mean?
it,
The
but-
pump. The pump. Not that. This.
It's in the yellow. What are you talking about?
The spray.
Are you throwing up, Wiser? Stop throwing up.
no, something hit me.
It was that guy.
Ow! No, I'm throwing up.
Havoc.
What? What'd I do?
You double stunned him again. I needed you to spray. He was
I'm
one
happy.
shot.
I'm taking a big gulp.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, you're splitting me in two.
We're leaving. Don't step on that glass.
And I made this one too strong.
You stepped on glass?
I love this PowerPoint of a game I'm playing. Oh,
You got a tummy ache? Hello, sir. We're not gonna make it. Get juked! See that juke? Let me out here.
I'm not gonna
Oh!
make it.
The door closed last
Watch
second.
outside.
That was cinematic.
I'm safe. Woo! I did bad. I did so bad.
I'm not. I'm
And
not.
they...
Oh, you went
Da!
Take.
Damn, duh. We got a duh.
We got a da.
Oh,
no, 14.
A duh. We got a duh.
6 times. I don't know if getting hit by the poison lady counts as a damage.
You
I gotta
throw
try
up, which
13 times.
counts.
Which does damage you, but if it like stacks,
9
I don't know.
times. I did lose sanity.
I don't-
That's
I got hit 6 times. I stepped on glass a few times too.
I guess the glass also counts as damage.
Does it?
Ooh. I don't know if I did all the tasks I need to do.
I did. Wonderful.
I love Cheetos so much. It's so it's like, yeah, it's cheese, but it's mostly sodium. It tricks my brain into thinking it's all cheese, but it's not.
Wait, the
Do you
weekly
like
ends tomorrow.
crunchy snacks, Havoc?
450 calories for one bag? Oh my god. This was 600 milligrams of sodium.
Stop your bleeding.
Hey.
15.
You're here for a good time, not a long time.
Oh, you're right. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Hey guys, one of the sharp glass event is to not step on trial the whole time on a glass.
Not to step on a trial the whole time.
Yeah. I'm already
When you're
drunk.
glass, don't step on a trial.
I'm already drunk. I'm not even drinking.
Wait, Wise, are you drinking?
Yes.
So how much damage did you take?
I took 14 hits of damage last game.
Yeah, you should do maybe 2 hits. It was 1 shot. You should do that.
Shots? I'm not taking shots.
She's finishing a whole bottle every time. Every time she gets hit.
damage, it's just
I
it's
got
a
hit 9
40
times.
of Jack.
From Jack Daniels. Jesus. No. The whole bottle would be gone.
You watch your ass here.
I would already have like 15 shots. Hell no.
We still doing glass?
Ooh. Pretty.
Wait, is there a new
let's see.
catalog? The glass ends tomorrow.
We can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I still have some things to do in the...
I have one more task I can do.
I need to
I'd stop
do
my
2
bleeding.
more routine trials and not... I have to stop bleeding 10 more times. So I have to intentionally walk in the glass.
Yeah, same. Want to do a big one then?
I mean, we should do a small one, because we need to complete 2 more routine things. Yeah, you know?
Bop, bop, bop. I'm all out of tickets. Tickets.
My weekly that ends tomorrow, you have to complete 9 trials.
9 trials?
Yeah. So that's 5 more trials.
Do it fast. Okay. We'll still do Wiser died. Oh no.
That's fine.
I'm
He's
just talking to
dead.
the cute nurse lady.
Stop talking to the cute nurse lady. She's older than you.
Okay.
And
I failed to see the reasoning. Objection, relevance.
I fail to see the problem. Let's do. I don't need the pass as
There
a
we go.
timed one. Got the vote? I like that one. That's got Franco Bobby.
It's the worst one.
Nope. And we can also rebirth. But
What does
Jen is
MK
on
mean?
baby level.
Yeah, I
So,
have nothing.
You're level 42. Wiser? Oh,
What's up?
you went inside. Okay. I'm coming.
So what does MK mean on like the little trial screen?
It means it's a shorter trial. It's like 1 trial instead of the full trial.
Oh, okay.
Like a
MK? I
partial
don't know what that stands for though.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat Trial.
stands for men kissing.
Hey yo.
We just
yeah.
walk in and Sub-Zero like flips our shit.
Get away. Maybe that's why I keep getting hit.
Folds us with our clothes, or folds our clothes with us in them.
The insta death.
Just packs us away.
I like men kissing better. I will pretend that MK stands for men kissing. Oh, get out the boat.
You're the leader. Why are you asking us? I'm just here.
I'm like a whole glass of whiskey in.
And
Why are you
I'm a
trusting me this
whole
for this?
glass of water in.
And a little water is
Stay
fucking me up.
hydrated, Be afraid.
Yeah, I'm so hydrated right now.
Why is everybody drinking?
Whoa.
Right now Bailey's, so I put it in my hot
Ooh.
chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
But once I'm done with
Guys,
this, probably Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger
Jesus.
bomb. Jaeger spawning. Look what you did.
Oh,
I
nice
manifested on
job,
The
Weiser.
Jaeger's here,
Sorry.
run.
Nice job. That will never finish the trial.
That will never
Do
be
you
the
still
next
need the-
Hokage. I can't do this.
That will never be the next pirate.
Do you still
King.
need to break doors?
No, I did that last.
I need to do one more.
No, the weekly. You have to bash like locked doors.
Yeah, I gotta do one more.
Yeah, there's a. I'm in the bathroom. If you want to bash these doors,
In the bathroom.
Oh, you're a real person. Oh God.
Hit the wall.
can someone break me out of
Also
here?
mannequin.
I'm coming. Oh,
We need to break 15 for the weekly. You guys have bashed 15 already?
Whee! I need to do one more.
Oh, you better get some parties.
What the fuck?
Yeah, get over
Oh,
here. We're in the bathroom.
I meant. Oh, that's not the right
Yeah, bash
way.
this one.
Kick that door.
Oh.
Havoc. Kick it.
Havoc is unable to get through the.
Use your
Hey,
Kick
I'm
that door.
using the
That didn't
toilet here.
count. Did that not count?
Oh, shoot.
Did that not count?
She's coming.
Oh, what's she coming? Here,
I
lock
don't
that
know.
door. Oh, there we go.
Alright.
Oh, I had to do two more.
Alright, I'm out of here. I'm the big ladies right there.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna lock the door.
Ow.
That was aggressive.
Whoa!
Be
I don't
cool,
want to
bitch.
relax. Whoa! There's a guy behind me too.
Cool.
Get pranked. How the?
And that one
How did
short
she
you
hit me mid?
earlier. Maybe made me laugh so hard.
Which one?
The one with the mimic Grace. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, the mimic race. That was too good.
I don't know if I was with you that run because it said the other person was Bingus, and I'm like, that sounds like something I would put my name in, but I don't remember playing with you in a little bit.
Wait, which one?
Jen, I need you to hold me. I'm scared.
Run, run! Not that you're not Havoc.
I'm
You
not.
don't even know my name.
Who are you? Just run.
I did the shortcut, guys.
Every
I
man
have
for
it.
himself.
What are you talking about? That was the stream this morning.
Oh, this morning?
Yeah, I streamed this morning.
I thought you were playing Night Rain.
That was Elden Ring. I dropped the mace.
Oh, I thought you were playing not Night Rain. Elden Ring,
Yeah, regular Elden
not
Ring.
Night Rain. Oh, you were playing regular Elden Ring. I thought it was
Yeah,
Night Rain.
when we were trying to get stuff. And then I prompted him.
Ooh. Prompt. Wee. I miss Elden Ring.
I was like, I just put it down, and he's like, I found it, guys.
I found a Grace, guys. Over here.
It's over here. It was just a prank. Oh.
Buzzer, will you get your finger out of your asshole and get over here?
Mel,
it's
welcome in. How you
And
doing?
Wiser, stop finger popping each other's assholes and get out over here.
We ain't finger
My
popping each other's
hands are cold,
assholes.
And it's warm in there, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you for getting the reference. Ain't finger popping each other's assholes. Oh crap.
I want to rewatch that movie. How you doing, Mel?
Oh, I watched it the other day. I love it. And oh what? You're not me.
Wait a minute.
I love 22nd Jump Street just as much. Oh, Wizard.
I wish they had continued.
23
There's more
Jump
than
Street.
22
Yeah.
seasons.
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. I haven't seen them in a lot of movies lately.
It's been a while.
Was Channing
There's
Tatum
documents
in,
here.
He was in the one where he lived in a Ow!
You lived in a what?
A toy store. I thought. Was that Channing Tatum?
Congrats on getting the cheese, Mel. I
need
don't
a
know.
drink. Whee!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whee!
Or
I don't
that
know what I'm talking
movie.
about either. Ignore me. I got a drink.
Have you eaten, Mel? Hey, what's up, buddy? Get pranked.
Oh god. tastes so good, but it hurts so bad.
This guy dressed like a. This guy dressed as America called me a slut.
America. Yeah, that's Franco Bobby.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you for the bonk. I did get a new bonk emote. I forgot to put it in
Kaiser, you
though.
are a little bit of a slut. Let's be for real.
Whoa.
But that's
Yo.
okay. We love our sluts.
Why am I getting
I guess
bonked?
it depends on the person, because I'd totally be a slut for like a Raising Cane's chicken sandwich. What am I doing?
What you eat?
Oh, I gotta hurt myself.
Yeah.
No, Havoc, this is.
That's
What?
such a waste of bandages.
I froze for a second.
I'm gonna lose points if I keep hurting myself. Okay, that happened. What? Hey, where's the dude at?
I would
Did he
like
go
to
back?
announce that Glass has claimed me again.
Me
The
ask.
glass has claimed you. I can hear
Which
your
also
moaning from
everyone-
here.
Oh, nice.
I'm struggling.
So
I'm
loud.
Oh shoot.
I have bandages.
No, I'm not. I think I know. I didn't mean it like that. I meant in the game.
What'd you get from McDonald's?
McDonald's.
This guy's a
Just
doctor.
reminder. I feel that, man. Oh shit. Go that way.
Let's go,
Chicken nuggets
grab
are
my
really
feet.
good. Wendy's got some good nuggets. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. JR, hey. How's it going, dude? Oh dear.
Two
How's it
McDoubles
going,
and sweet
dude?
tea. Yummy. Hey, buddy.
Oh wait. I forgot we're doing codes.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion.
Stay cool, man.
Oh no, not again.
Is
No,
anyone
please,
doing the
mister.
numbers?
No, I'm
Please leave me alone.
exploring. To make up for
Oh.
Wiser being mean. That's true.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? I'm glad you're alive. I'm also alive.
What did I do? Hold on.
Which is a flex.
You
I
were
feel
mean.
Like.
These lies on my name. It wasn't me. It was Evil Wiser.
That wasn't me. That was the imposter Wiser.
I'm like losing my mind right now. Uh-oh. Wrong place thing I want to do. Ah.
It's always mean to you. That's
There's a
okay.
meanie.
I stepped on glass.
Oh.
Evil and malice-filled people.
What do you say? Barrels? Oh, like red barrels? Oh no. I'm
Red Barrels, the company?
bleeding.
Havoc, you ran past. Hey, heads up! The guy with the gun was here. Would have been sick.
Hey,
Okay.
watch out, the
Closing
gunman's
shit in my
here.
face.
Uh-oh. So closing shit.
Welcome to America.
I have a thing for you know what? I'm gonna drink it right in front of you. Here, drink Havoc.
It's fine. I found one. I got a drink though. Oh, this is a dead end. Where's the
Wait, why are you
politician?
running?
Why am
The
I
la-
running? Why are you running?
The lady's not even here. Oh shoot, Franco's
We're all
over there.
just scrambling.
Guys, Franco's coming.
Shooting me.
Yeah, I got a drink now.
Who's coming out of this
What are you
door?
looking for?
It's the guy again. Here you go.
To be fair, Wiser
Oops.
was in baby jail for a week.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Get pranked. Everyone's game done. We were running out. The funny plants. Plants are cool though.
I like funny plants. Hee ha ha.
What am I supposed
Where
to be
the
looking for?
fuck
Everything's
is
blue.
this mannequin?
Also, we don't plan anything. It just happens instantly. There is no planning.
What drinking? I have.
Yeah, Havoc just said she's drinking tonight, and then I said let's do trials.
Good combination.
Yeah,
And then
I
there's-
am
Except I'm
currently
not drinking.
Yeah, Jan's
I'm on meds. I can't drink.
You can't. Oh, because of job or you don't.
I'm
like
on
it?
meds.
Oh, you're on meds. Oh, that's understandable.
Yeah, I had a headache earlier.
Technically, I have medication that limits my drinking. Uh-oh.
I'm about to go
me.
Super Saiyan with my headache.
Oh no, Jan.
With this, I go even further beyond.
Yeah,
drinking
watch
Jack
my headache go
Daniels.
before.
Watch my headache turn into a
Further beyond.
migraine.
Super migraine.
To a cluster headache.
Let's
Super Saiyan
go.
1, 2, and 3.
Who's breathing over here?
You will hand-
It's
you
Jack
won't be able to stop
Daniels.
me when I reach my ultimate form.
It's Jack. What am I
A
calling? Jack
cluster
Daniels
headache. Brain damage. Let's go.
Blackberry. Aneurysms.
Wait,
It's like
where's
Super Saiyan
where's my
dog.
brick go?
Where's my brick go?
Yeah, I keep throwing it once and then it disappeared. Oh, never mind. I found
Where's
it.
my where's my brick go?
Yeah, I threw it at
Yeah, Jack Daniels
the imposter guy.
Blackberry. I think it's new because I haven't seen
Then
it
it
before
disappeared.
until like this year. I like it a lot. So it's that and Coke.
Is that a 4? That's a 4.
That's a 10.
Something 4, something 8.
I'm missing one.
For something.
215.
That's the 8 one. So this room is good.
Oh.
I need one in
Oh.
this room, which is probably
Oh.
right.
He just called you
There.
a slut. God dang.
Yeah, he's been like assaulting me verbally this entire time.
Something 2. Something 498.
Are you
498.
bleeding?
No.
So the last one should be in this room.
Or you're just moaning because you just want to.
This guy's like, you're a slut. I'm like,
Oh my god. Can't say that's a 10 without. I don't like the lip smacks. I have misophonia.
Insomnia.
How's he go? He goes. That's a 10. That's a kissy noises. How's he doing? Yes.
I'm going
My
crazy
next
with this
super
song in the
bad.
background and I can't find this number.
Yeah, the blackberry is really good. Oh, did I take your hiding spot, Weiser? I was here
yes.
first, so.
I ran in there. I'm like, oh, I can hide under the bed. And then I was like, why does it say it's occupied?
Was there not a spot? I can't tell. Not right next to me. There's a hiding spot. This is a
I
queen.
think I know the code.
Queen. This is a queen, bad queen. I break.
I can't find the last
Is it
numero.
Bottom to top or like?
It's
I'm
from empty 1,
First,
2, 3
doing two-
until filled.
we're doing two separate things.
One,
Backwards it's 215, and I can't find the first number.
4.
Four?
Where is the first number?
Where do you see
Thank you for
four
the
at?
hydrated mail.
What's
Where's
that?
four at?
No, it's not that. It's on the table.
Yeah, look at that.
So it's.
You didn't do it
4.
right. It's 4, 5, 1, 2. There you go. Good job.
God, look at you, so smart.
How you want to heal? Here.
It's
I want
wasted
the
on me.
bandage. I want it.
I'll take it.
Not on
Give me 5 minutes. I'll step on some
my
glass.
watch. Not on my.
Where is this
watch.
last number?
The
Yeah, you
number
got
you
it.
said.
I believe.
6.
What do they
Oh, the house is right next to this house. Hello? Oh, I'm being chased. Oh my god. I was like, why do I hear chase music? Goodbye.
Like, hello, is there a neighbor coming to borrow
There we
some
go.
sugar?
Fuck off.
Franco
I
Bobby,
haven't seen any traps.
why are you like so shiny?
Keep it like that. I'm very shiny. Very
It's
shiny.
eight.
Thank you. 8? Is that 8? Second number is 8.
No, no.
Ah!
Franco swallowing.
Oh, I found the last number.
Why'd you use your body?
Why did you use your body? Use your orb.
I have no body or
The hell?
my own.
I'm lagging. What
Okay,
happened?
so it's.
There's no thing in here.
Oh, that's not you.
That is me. Come here.
Hey, Franco Bobby's over there. Oh, hey, it's Lady Habi. She's saying I can't see her.
I don't see
Oh, it
anything.
ends in 9.
Oh, 1. The third number is 1. There's jizz next to it. That's cool.
Hey, yo! How'd you see me?
Something,
Excuse me, Bobby.
something 189.
I already forgot. Oh, 9.
5.
5? 189?
So 189. No.
Wait, 5189?
No, it's 5819.
Ow, it hurt.
Thank you,
5,
Mel.
8.
Just like music under the current term. Of course. You got a party when you're playing Outlast Trials. Yeah.
I like the
Oh, shoot.
sound of silence and torture.
It's time to party.
Oh. Oh, shit. Get the ticket!
Don't stop the
can't.
party.
Pull!
Why'd you close the door on me?
Because there was someone chasing after
There's
me.
a big
Oh,
lady
there's a
out
big
there.
lady. Ow!
Why do you think I walked in
Why?
here? What do you
I
mean?
don't know. Is it a dead end?
Hello? Why are you running away? Oh, the fire guy's behind you! Wiser! You closed the door while it was coming out behind you.
Holiday Inn.
I just stepped on glass. God damn this place.
I need more healies for these feelies.
I got the
You
ticket.
stepping glass, silly.
No.
Yeah. Don't stop that
Your
party.
Grinch tree. I was watching Grinch earlier today. Oh.
Yeah,
Never
Yeah.
take no for an answer.
I need a
What?
please.
That's horrible.
That's what he
advice.
just said.
That's horrible advice.
I mean, he usually tells terrible things. So, Weiser is down.
Yeah, he was bleeding to death right next to me. Alright, hang on, Wiser.
He's gonna see me. I'm gonna jump away. Don't stop
Good
that
tip. Well,
party.
Can you get out of the glass, please?
No.
Then I'm not helping you.
I just want you to suffer as I have.
Oh shit. Someone's behind me.
Suffer as I
Walking the
have.
floor.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, we're having a pitbull concert on this side.
What do you mean you didn't hear that? Oh, I just hit her instead. Whoops. I did not mean to do that.
This is gonna go bad for me in a second, isn't
Can
it?
you, like,
Oh.
come out the window?
I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you.
I want to cosplay as Pitbull and wear a ball cap.
Congrats on your daily cheese, Nix.
Here you go.
Save yours.
Yeah, I want to go in a ball cap and I want to dress up in a suit.
What the hell? The big lady's jumping through the thing.
Glasses, get that pencil goatee. Did we get all the tickets?
We're doing good, Nix. No,
Should be
you.
good. Yeah, that
We
guy.
have 3
We're having a
tickets.
party in here.
Oh, not again.
Not again.
What am I stuck? Let me go.
Oh, I gotta get out of here.
Here's some heals for you on the ground.
Sir, I gave you heals. What happened to them?
This looks useful.
I have more heals for you over here. We're doing good. How are you, Nix?
Next bite. Just left Wiser.
The hell?
Wiser, come on.
We're having a party over here. There you go. Miser, get over here.
Let's stop the party.
I will off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Alright, we can just leave.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide. You dude.
Oh,
I think
God.
this is Lamau.
Last one at the exit has to whimper in front of the microphone.
Hurry up, Wiser. I am Mr. Worldwide.
I like the. What's
Playing
the
Mirror's
one
Edge. I'm on my way.
What's the one with Pitbull? Oh, and Kesha.
Wiser's down.
Is it Timber? Oh, Wiser.
Excuse me, sir.
We gotta get him. I just used my stun.
Ran
I did
face
too.
first into that dude and
Is it
got
Timber?
laid.
I think
Alright,
it's
let's go.
Timber.
Never mind, go the other way.
Going down.
Oh my god, Janjo, hey, what's up?
Run! I used a brick.
Yes, Timber. Where are they?
Timber. Every time I go to a club, I'm always like, Timber. You gotta play Timber.
Where are they?
Want to hear Jan do it?
Congrats,
What?
man.
Whimper?
You gotta do the whimper audio.
There you go.
Better move.
I was here first. I came back for you.
Damn.
Where you
That's
know?
not how it works. Sorry, not happening.
Did I say
A
last? I meant
plus.
first.
I got a D.
Got you were the
got
first one,
dog,
Liza.
yeah.
Received 5 times and triggered sound trap 7 times.
Took 14
5
hits
steps.
of damage.
So you have to take
love
7
Tesla.
shots.
2016 era was
They also love
an
ketchup.
era. I like ketchup.
Ketchup is so good.
I said my girl. I love her.
This is Lamau, I knew it.
I grew up in like the trashy like
Good
club
game.
scene, and also like the pop punk scene. So there was a weird in between with me,
You're special.
where you like wear tight dresses and wear stilettos,
And I am special.
and they
Yeah.
play like Kesha, Pitbull, and like Lady Gaga,
Yep.
Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj. You wear like fuck that clean
Oh.
girl makeup, but you wear like really big, you know, what's it like wing liner, like dark eyeshadow, bandage dresses. Oh my! I never had one of those.
Where are them girls at? Next song.
Where them girls at? What do you mean the world weeps?
Good luck with that. Careful out there.
Next, we just started. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, we'll be here all night. That was an era. You get a thank you. Someone understands me. Keep in mind, I'm like 5'9", so it's like I'm wearing these tall ass stilettos that'll break my fucking, neck.
Don't
and
forget the
I'm like,
multiplayer
I don't
shows, right?
care.
True.
I loved it. I went to a few clubs. Not
Well, I
a
never
lot,
really
but-
had to wear multiple layers. I'm usually always warm. I usually just had to wear a shirt.
Yeah, it's cold. No, if you a girl, you wearing those little black dresses, you wear the sheer, it's like very sheer, thick stockings. And you wear like certain stilettos that covers like your toes, so it looks like you're not wearing anything, but you're very toasty. I like pulled out one of like an old dress of mine. I was like, oh fuck yeah, and it still fits me. I'm like, oh, I want to wear it for New Year's. It's so pretty. I'm probably gonna wear kitten heels instead
The
of like
feathers in your hair.
stilettos. Yeah, you. Oh, have you ever done like hair tinsel? It's like
Asking me?
a thin strand of like this like what's it called?
Dan, have you ever done hair tinsel?
Holographic.
Yeah.
You know. And you tie it to like a hair strand. I can see you dry humping me, Jan.
I'm dancing
you
to the
tie
music.
it to your hair, and it shimmers. Yeah, you add feathers. Do you all remember the feathered earrings? JR is so lost right now. I remember feathered earrings being a big thing, and like you add feathers to your hair. Let's rebirth.
No,
Yes.
I'm leaving the group. You start that.
No, don't leave. Why not?
No.
Like, okay, so like clean girl
Trying to keep my
makeup's
tokens.
fine for like work or whatever, but if we're going out, I'm doing my makeup like a trashy whore, okay? Well, not trashy whore, a tasteful whore, right, Wiser?
I
Wiser
dress
knows
like a
what's up.
slut.
I was seeing email. I was definitely on the middle between like, I was a casual goth. I think I still am. I listen to all that music. But then on the other side, I'm listening to like pop, like top
I mean, okay.
100s.
True.
Yeah, you just did not 6-7 in my chat.
Banned.
Bam.
2 minutes. Heavy, we got tasks to do.
Back in my day, it was 69.
Yeah, back in the day it was 21. And then it was letter E.
21. Butterfly clips. Oh yeah. I don't remember what was popular like 2012, 2016-ish.
It's almost already over.
Clubbing.
It's been 3 minutes.
Arm wrestle me. 75 res? Ay.
Chess me.
Wiser, it couldn't read your IQ because your IQ is too high. It broke my stream.
You wouldn't think so, judging by my
Wait,
glass
what?
record, but
No one was. Something went wrong.
What is
Nixon, you
that?
tried to clip something? No one wants to arm wrestle with me.
Too busy playing some
See you.
chess.
your shredded arms were nervous.
Oh.
Wait, what?
No one wants to play with me. I remember, yeah, the feather clips in the hair and the hair tinsel.
Watch it.
Hair tinsel was annoying, but it was a lot of. It
I
was-
have a
it was
command
good.
if you can type in exclamation mark
Wait, what?
watch clip.
What if I was their queen? Thank you. I got big strand.
chunk
I can
arms.
see you dry humping me.
Thank you.
Will suffocate you. But
Yeah,
you
but
tie it to
she
your
didn't hear
hair
the
and it-
music
it
that's playing in the
shimmers.
background of that.
Music?
Castle? Oh, that's the queen.
You are a queen.
Wait, what did you just? You just moved the rook to
It's
the.
Warmel.
I was
Thank
like,
you
why
for the
can't I
follow.
castle? This is weird.
Wait, I
You
reached my
can't, so-
goal.
Also, you're
Wait, did I
supposed
lose
to
a-
move your king, not your rook
Did I
for
lose a
castle.
follower? I lost a follower and then I hit my goal twice today. Thanks. Thank you for the follow.
We'll just double castle. Watch that shit.
Yeah, well, get prompt.
Wait, clips.
No, you
Shit,
can't
I don't
castle.
know.
I don't see clips, bro.
Yeah, you can.
No, you have to move your king. But my bishop is right there. What? What was that?
King, you don't have to move at
Exactly.
all. You are fine exactly.
Wait
where
a
you are.
minute.
Wait a minute.
I'm Jan's friend. I know you're your. He's just mean to me.
Oh.
What?
I think what?
What is that? You just gave away your pony.
I know. I'm so smart.
You know, Weiser, he's just mean to me. Weiser's mean to everyone. Don't worry about it.
This is false
But
information.
It's nice to meet you. Yeah, I like
Bam.
a weird one. I'd be listening to like
Damn, I do
Breaking
too.
Benjamin, Chiodos.
Benjamin Button.
And then I turn around and I'm
Great
listening
movie.
to Kesha, Cobra Starship. Does anyone remember Cobra Starship?
Drats.
That's all I know. I love Cobra
Get
Starship. That's definitely some good
prompt.
clubbing music. Yeah.
I'm
that's what I'm
Addy.
talking about. So I'd be quoting Scandalous all the time. Good Girls Go. Yeah, Good Girls Gone Bad. Cobra Starship got a lot of good songs.
Oh, why aren't you taking that?
Feel, Scandalous.
Why didn't you want to
Uh,
take that?
Pain.
I don't know. I just had this feeling
More
Hmm.
than a
on the summer day when
feeling.
you were gone. Like, I just
I
knew
love
it.
that
More
song.
Than a Feeling. My first kiss. I love my first kiss with Kesha, my girl. Yes. Oh my god. That was 303.
Prompt.
That's 303. Oh, I forgot
Prompt.
about 303. I saw them at Warped Tour a few years ago.
Ooh, my first
old.
kiss. That's a pretty good song.
My first kiss when I let her like this.
What?
3 times the lady's
I'm a fool.
good. Hot mess.
Unless.
Hot mess. Oh,
Bam.
Cobra Starship. Titties at Work, Guilty Pleasure. One Day Robots Will Cry is a good one. Kiss My Sass is a good one. Damn, You Look Good and I'm Drunk is probably my favorite
Bam.
Cobra Starship song.
Checkmate.
Damn, I hate that you actually know how to play chess.
Jan is cracked. Like,
Yeah, I
it's not
played against
fair.
bots.
Jan's
I just
too
read this
good.
thing and then I learned chess.
My first kiss went a little like
It took me only like
Not
3 weeks. You can also learn it. It's fine.
I'm becoming a chess.
Alright, I'm too
grandmaster.
stupid. Busy
I'm
playing
not even a
Overwatch.
grandmaster. I'm like a 1000.
Every time I hear about chess drama,
You just gotta
I
go.
send it right over to Jan because I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
Jan, it's key.
Never lets you win. Why would I let you win a
Mm.
chess? My score will go down.
We still
Yeah,
gotta
your
do,
first kiss on stream. Hey yo.
No, it's a song.
Yeah, just go make get the chest app. play the bots until you get to like 1,000, then you're pro basically.
I bet. Y'all about to not see me for a month.
Yeah. I still haven't beaten the 1900 bot though. She's insane.
The person who gets the lowest score has to make out with Jan.
What does that mean?
Hey,
Actually,
that's my husband.
I'm gonna
go out of my way to
I'm
get
just gonna
close to
die.
him now.
Wait,
Rephrase
Jan
that.
has
The person
someone to
that gets
kiss?
The highest score
Hey, you.
is to make out with Jan.
Well, I'll just kiss myself then, easy.
Oh hell you.
Rescue the children from mother, and we will let you out.
For a time, I knew like the whole first verse of Super Beast.
Wait, is Sakura still here?
Yeah, we promote self-love here.
Sakura, are you here? Oh, hey!
He's busy. With
Sakura, guess what? Check your
Sakura!
DMs. Where's Alti doing? Alti is rivaling.
But Super Bass, you were listening to
And he
Super Bass.
would. He's still in comp. I was supposed to join him, but I was
I'm sorry.
headaching.
Oh, feeling better.
Yeah, that's why I'm on meds. There you go, Sakura. It's
that's
finally
right.
happened.
Can someone explain? You guys cannot say Marvel Rivals is not a Gooner game. That ship has sailed. But I saw
What?
the latest like Venom skin.
What? What about him?
His booty be popping out of a skirt.
Can't believe me. Believe it.
Believe it.
It's not a Gooner game. I play not Venom.
It's such a Gooner game.
No.
It is so Gooner.
I mean, you don't even have time to look at the character. I'm looking at the enemies.
There's a Venom skin, and he's like, it's like.
Yeah, but when I'm
Candy
playing the
Mouse.
game, I'm not looking at Venom. I'm looking at the enemies.
I mean, I'm looking at.
You
Whenever I
guys, the
watch you guys
viewers,
play.
are the ones doing it. I'm not. I'm
That's
just playing the
true.
game.
I buy the skin for you guys.
Yes.
I buy it for you guys.
Havoc's giving
A
me
goon is
giving
those things from like the 1960s, like you know the mobs. Those are the goons.
Like the mafia.
Yeah. Like the goon squads show up. At,
The Goonies.
there's so many bottles here.
Next, I feel like we explained this like millions of times. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the movies. Also a movie.
Alright, split up.
It's her. You stepped on glass.
It's on brand for me at this point. I can't stop.
I just
There's
took advantage
a-
of for some. Uh-oh, bad. There's a bad.
He just walked past us.
Oh.
Oh my god, International Love. I love this song. It's the
miss
Johnny
EDM.
Cage song.
I miss EDM
Hey, Havoc,
club
my
music.
friends want to meet you.
I miss,
Havoc, my
I
friends
miss-
want to meet you.
I want to meet your friends. Friends are mean. Well, I'd be listening
This
to.
is very fitting to the situation.
Dubs did.
Oh, we gotta set frequencies. Need
6
this.
months to remember his. He will never get enough. Wish it gets a little touch. If I had it my way, you know that I'd make her say. Ooh.
Oh, we gotta follow the
Where's the beach
wires.
Oh, the wires.
It's
Oh, there's
just
wires?
yeah, it's your favorite map. Yeah, there's wires.
You like the orphanage? I like the orphanage too.
Yeah, she had a great time here
Small.
last time.
My least favorite is the sex
Hello,
toy
sir.
factory, surprisingly. No, yes. Yes.
I
sex
stepped
toy
on
factory.
glass because I can't see. I'm on fire.
You're on fire. Yes, King.
didn't
you're on
see me go around
fire.
this corner?
Yes, King.
He saw me go around the corner.
Yes, King.
Hey, I knows here.
We got 2. We need 3 more.
I'm getting chased by 2 guns.
I hurt myself.
Give me that.
Oh, I got a drink. Does this count as self-infliction of pain?
Oh, dangerous.
I'm gonna count self-infliction. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take another sip while I heal.
I was trying to follow the wires, but I can't see it.
Y'all good?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's a big dude. That's a big dude. Go this way. Nope, not going that way. I'm going this way.
I did not want to hide.
Yo. The 303 got some problematic lyrics. Now I think about it.
I don't have any.
But you
They're
know
just
we've
saying
been
if they're
singing-
vegetarian.
Yeah, they're just saying they're vegetarian. They're promoting, you know,
Yeah.
animal rights. Right? I'm a vegetarian. I'm fucking scared.
Oh
of him.
shoot.
You guys
Go
saw
over
that
there.
one?
What the hell? She like turned
you guys
around
got
and
that.
didn't turn around.
Whee!
Is that my heartbeat?
I hear my heart go beat, beat, beat to the beat of the drum. Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone.
I went back to the entrance on
sir.
accident.
Get over here. Oh, not that way. There's a glass there. Be careful. Whee!
It do be Kesha. Damn it. Why did you bring her over here?
I didn't mean to. Yeah, I love Kasha. She's my girl. I love her. I love Gaga. Yo,
She chasing you?
That's not good. Gee, I just slid right into glass. Oh shit. Uh-oh.
Who the hell?
Oh.
Weiser, why would you do that?
Uh-oh. I'm getting double teamed. I'm getting double teamed. I'm getting double
Sure you're
teamed.
sneaky.
Owie.
Sounds good.
Move.
Weiser, there's a thing over there.
I'm dying. Oh, here's a thing right there.
Hello, dying.
I'm dying.
Here, I can unlock
That was
this, Weiser.
Two things.
You need
Like,
Oh, hello.
No!
Where's she
oh,
spawn?
I think she's coming after me.
Oh, another poster. Yeah, she didn't spawn over here on us. Did we both just grab that?
She spawned right next to me.
Perfect. Now you can handle that and we'll
I'm gonna
find
die.
the poster. Oh, the last one's over there.
I don't want to be here anymore. Please tell me this is locked. It's not locked. I'm just gonna go back and forth between bathrooms until she leaves me alone.
Oh, yeah, nice.
can I crouch through glass?
I want to
to
go home.
I think if you touch it, so no.
I don't want to be here. Why would you do
To
that? You're so
hide
rude.
from the X-ray man.
I love Kesha, man. TikTok. Flow.
She's got a condition.
Remember.
Watch out, Weiser. Watch her, Weiser behind you.
It's fine. I got it. We're good.
It's huge.
You ain't coming this way. I don't know what you're doing.
We can go back to the lobby again, wherever that is.
Alright. I might
I'm gonna
die.
grab these bottles.
I'm not going to die, not today.
Wait, there's glass here. I'm gonna step on all the glass.
My first case.
I need to. There's a guy behind you. Watch out, watch out, watch out behind you.
Ow. Ow.
He's still chasing you.
What do you mean you didn't hear that? Bitch. Okay, I'm
Hey,
leaving.
oh, what did I run into?
What did I run into? Oh, fuck.
Hey, Havoc.
Mama's right there.
Yeah, step on glass.
Get in here, hurry.
I love you.
The Wiser might be coming to our location. Fair warning.
Love you too. I can see who it was. Hold on.
I got double teamed.
Where's the
and that was
lobby gate?
No fun. What's up?
The lobby
why-
gate.
Oh, there's the. Why is she coming this way? Is she gonna come through the window?
Well, there's 3 guys over here.
Let me.
Thank you for the surprise.
She hops. She got hops.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking smart.
I hope that volume's alright. I can't hear anything, but I think you guys should still be fine.
Bye. Bye.
Julia, thank you for the surprise.
Oh, fuck.
Congrats on getting scoring twice. Let's go. Pro
Oh,
football.
fuck.
Pro football. We
I'm
just
gonna hit
leave.
the button.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
leaving.
Hello, Jaeger. Wait, let me throw this at you.
Oh, did not mean to do that. Oh, this is.
Hold on, I need to
problematic
step
for
on
me.
glass.
Oh shit, a googer.
There you go.
I'm leaving.
That's fine, just leave. I have like 5 bricks right here.
Holy
You are very good at football. We need to sign you up.
crap, that hold me.
You need to go Vinny FC. Where is she?
I left.
I'm throwing 5 bricks at this lady. Here you go. Next, congrats on scoring. Because I am hoarding all the cheese, yes.
Nick's always.
Chinaldo!
Always scoring.
Let's go. How did I get an A? What? Oh, because I
Did we
stepped
not
on
do
glass
the
like 10
second
times.
objective?
No, we did.
We did?
I just stepped on like glass 5 times.
Oh, we got it.
Did I get
Why
my...
is it that? Oh, why is we got A minus?
Yay.
That's an
I
A
only had
squad right there.
Job.
3 times.
Call us the A team.
Minus. Good job.
I only have to
Good
drink 3
job.
times instead of 8.
Good job.
That's pretty good.
Good
And I'm out of my
job.
hot chocolate, so I'll be right back. I gotta go
Believe it.
Mm.
Alright, my monitor is about to turn off, so I'm gonna do a little quick break.
What?
Thank you for the hydrate cheek rub. I gotta rest my monitor.
You want to take like a 5-minute break?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be gone for 10 minutes, so. 5 or 10.
Should we run an ad or something?
I mean, technically I can still play because I can just look at my OBS monitor, but I'll be playing sideways.
Yeah. Technically, you can still play.
Just delayed.
That'd be a
Thank you
new
for the
challenge.
spin. OBS only?
Playing Outlast Trials, but I'm playing through mirrors.
Yeah, I'm
Liza,
looking
do you
behind
wanna-
me.
Anyone want to do a rebirth?
No. No
Why?
rebirths.
Means.
I.
No rebirths. I almost have 1,000 coins. I'm not rebirthed.
But I need to get my numbers up.
Is
You can
Havoc trying to
solo
take
rebirth.
advantage of my innocence right now? and make me
Yeah.
something
Am I gonna
horrible?
what now?
Just trying to rebirth you.
I don't want to be rebirthed. Sounds
Don't
awful.
trust-
Why not? Nothing happens. You just get an ending. You don't reset or anything like that.
Yeah, but I lose my
That sounds
character.
Really specific.
Your cosmetics reset. Not even.
I lose my
nothing
original
reversed them.
character.
Oh
I've
my
had him
God.
since the beta, and he's gone because I got rebirthed. I was pranked. And then I got a skin that I already had.
Got pranked.
I got double pranked. Double prank Saturday.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I can still play. Oh, actually, no, I can't because I can't see my items. My character's blocking it.
Well, I can't type for my shit. I did typing test lately. Yesterday? No, a few days ago.
What?
I did a typing test. And I got 103 words per minute with 100% accuracy. Like, that's a big flex.
True.
My
What was your
DMs are
typing speed?
open. What?
What was the type speed?
Type speed?
Yeah.
103 words per minute.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's like the best I've ever done. I was locked in though. DMs open? Yeah, because my fingers are so fast. Be like, what them fingers do? And I'm like, I'm gonna show you. 103 words per minute. I need to stop. I just need to stop. Rebirth
What?
with me, guys.
Nay.
Rebirth with me. It'll be so fun.
I want a rebirth.
What was that?
Been
clip
birthed
you
once,
clipped?
and that's awful. I want to go back.
Ma'am. 88. Oh, that's good though. Okay, so guys in the Discord, general media, we put a bunch of our scores there. I will not do any better than 103. All right, we're going. Rebirth time. Jen, do you want to take a break? He's dead. All right, I'm gonna leave then.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick sec to go grab a drink and
All
throw in
right,
a snack.
I'm going to rebirth.
Bro, my monitor's gonna be done before then. It's like 5 minutes. Just doing MK.
Wiser. Wait, Wiser's taking a break.
Why?
You're taking a break, right? From
Yeah,
trials
I'm
or
gonna
just?
go grab.
Get your
Well, I
hot
need
chocolate.
to. I'm out of my hot chocolate, so I'm gonna go grab some Jaeger and a Red Bull.
Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, that's like my go-to.
Anyone else here?
Hello, thank you for looking.
One Piece. I found you.
The One Piece is real.
Oh, hello! Welcome! Yay! I have a
Sue.
friend! Oh, I fucked it. Arm wrestling! Oh, shit. Oh, I'm so bad at this.
The Piece 1
I'm so bad
has
at
arrived.
this. Drinking and doing this is not good for me. Wow. Locking in. I'm locking in! I'm locking in! Oh, fuck.
Alright, I think my monitor's good.
Oh, fuck. No! Me! No!
Where did Weiser go?
He went to get hot chalky.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm ready.
Will be wonderful. Come on, be wonderful. I'm fucking up so bad right now. Oh, wait, what? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, it's so bad.
You got this. I believe. You are in control.
And, oh.
What?
Oh, you don't
What?
wanna? Okay. Okay.
Your feet are cold. You
That was so funny.
time to wear some socks.
Aw, you're so cute. Wait, where are we going? Soup! Soup, where are we going? Oh, Soup wants to do a trial with me. Oh, no, you wanna, wait, you wanna arm us? Soup, what do you wanna do? Soup, do you wanna rebirth with me? Oh, Soup disappeared. Soup!
Bruh.
No! I am, someone seems, I'm not tipsy. Look, I'm just bad at arm wrestling. Especially when I've been drinking.
As the
a little
Christmas
bit.
patch started, I think
Are you talking
we
about
still have
gold?
2 days for the routine. I think
Wait.
it started in December.
Are you thinking, oh, are you talking about a different game?
I'm talking about trials. The Christmas
Winter
patch. Yeah,
Wait, did
there's 2
they
more days of
announce that?
sharpness. No, I'm just
Oh,
seeing the
really?
future.
Wait, they did an announcement?
Having I'm seeing the future. They usually
can
do it
see
in
the
December, and in 2 days it'll be December 1st,
They never
and that's
do
when
it
the
like
sharp
that.
thing. And so it should be after
They never
this
do
one.
it like that.
They do. They
Geister
do.
didn't come out until like the 3rd week of October. Geister, shut the fuck up.
Well, they were still planning that.
No, Geister is like every year. They're
Nah.
always a little late on their holiday events.
Well, I should be good to
So-
game that.
I think Geister came out. I usually post them as soon as like the shit.
Why is
let
this
me find
website
it.
so bright? Can't y'all use dark mode?
The Devil's Swing.
Hit return.
Welcome back. I'm blind.
Ready. I wasn't ready. I was looking up something.
That's why I did it.
Fry. Yeah, Geister
This
was
is
pretty
cooked.
long. I think Geister ended like the second week of November. Oopsie. 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 Oh,
Oh
fuck.
god.
Oh, fuck. A cougar. A googer. Oh, fuck. A googer. Oh, fuck. So bad.
Oh my god, I'm so cooked. Ooh.
I'll try again.
Yeah, run it back.
Oh, I got it. Oh, I didn't get it. I'm getting orange. I want orange. I want
I'm ready, by the
red.
way.
Oh,
yeah.
wider.
Fucked. Get fucked, bud.
Nice.
Damn, got him.
You good?
Right.
I'm ready.
So rebirth? Yes?
I'm starting my own trial.
No. No. Please.
Oh,
We
wait.
still
What's
gotta do some
next?
glass, right?
I need to do
do
one
sh-
without touching
Oh,
glass.
without sharp? Oh, okay. We'll do it. Should be easy, right?
Yeah.
Should be super easy. Ah, Leon. We'll do this one. This one's timed, but it should be fairly short.
She
Leon.
wanna win.
I'm the wiener.
So we don't have. So we don't touch glass.
Yeah, we're
No,
still
you're
doing the
supposed to
glass.
touch glass.
It's like grass, but
Touch.
glass.
Like if I touch glass, will it mess it up for you?
No. I think it's a personal. Oh. You gotta touch the glass. It's so crunchy. Tasty. Satisfying.
I want a lined one. Add to the bag. Add to the bag.
I will give you a kiss once I'm out of this chair.
History is
What do you mean by
mutable,
monodose?
The future is fixed.
Ooh.
If you allow the past to be defined
The
by
future?
facts, evidence, and memory, our enemies will be as numerous as our sins. Destroy the historical record, and we will let you out.
Does anyone know that dinosaur song? I catch up.
I'm a dinosaur. I don't know. I love
You
that
are a
song.
dinosaur. D-I-N-O.
I'm a
You are
dinosaur.
a dinosaur.
then I don't know this song.
Hitting on me, what? So good. Was eating Cheetos. D-I-N-O. So you are a dinosaur.
D-I-N-O. They call
Razor,
me the
kiss.
dino.
Come here. Razor. Hey, come here. No! You redeemed it. Come here.
Run away. Get back in there.
Kiss.
I was trying.
I am mono. We.
Wait, is this just the finding the keys?
No, we had to find boxes.
I
And
still
shred
need
'em.
the.
Oh, I still
Still need the
do
bash
bleeding
doors.
thing. Here, do you want to do these?
Yeah, I'm locking them and going around.
There you go. Here you go, bud.
No
Thanks.
time to waste.
Open that door.
Open the door.
Open up that
Open the
door.
door.
And then I don't know how the rest
Not
of the
what
song
I
goes.
want. All right, Erwin. We're gonna scatter. You're gonna find a box. You're gonna put it in the shredder.
It's Shredder.
Shredder.
Where?
I've
Oh, maybe I
never
could have
done
played
this.
Rivals, actually.
No.
I'm kind of cranked.
No.
I'm so awake right now.
No.
Jane's in
No.
like top condition. Me and Havoc are slowly deteriorating.
Yeah, I took a nap in my conditions.
Slowly deteriorating.
Because I was playing Rivals
Deteriorating.
yesterday, but I was like in the worst condition. I was tired, and then I was just like, let's just do comp. So I still did pretty good, but I wasn't in peak gaming. I was medium gaming.
Oh. There was a big lady. That scared me.
4 minutes remaining.
Uh-oh. 4
Wait, what?
minutes, guys. 4 minutes. We
How
gotta
many more
go.
boxes do we need?
Oh my god, that actually scared me. What do you mean? No, 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 no. Get away from me! Get away from me! God damn it. Now
You are
who's here?
full Cyclocus.
I think there's an antidote right next to me. Get away from me, Skinner Man! Skinner Man just backed me up into a corner. Yo. I did not take damage. Did I?
What am I
Got
looking for?
pounded.
That's
And-
fine.
And literally a pusher spawned right
What
next
are
to
we
me. I had
looking
no time.
for?
I had no reaction
Boxes.
time. Boxes.
I don't know what they look like.
They look like
Get your box
boxes.
on, Shane.
What does a box look like? My
They
box?
look like a box.
Picture
You ever seen
a
a
flat
box?
plane and then multiply it by 4 squared.
37.
You
How
ever
many of
seen
these
a box
boxes do we
before?
need? I put 2 in.
There's like 10, I think.
Oh my
Bro,
god, that's so many
10.
boxes. Who
That's a
has
lot.
that many?
I've never been able to do this by myself.
Then why are we doing this
Look at the
while we're
back.
like in the worst condition?
I found a box. No, 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 no! Oh, Okay, that works. I gotta drink, but I'm gonna leave. There's another box. right
Maybe you
there.
should drink after the trial.
I'm going to not do that. It's funnier to drink while I'm running for my life.
I'm gonna leave the trial.
Also, I'm hurt. Very hurt right now. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Look what you did. Two minutes. How many boxes are left?
Oh,
I have no
strong.
idea.
Ooh. Jaeger spawned next to me. Oh, fuck. Googer. How many times do I have to step on glass before the game's like, alright, good job? You guys look for boxes, I'll keep Girly Pop company.
We have like 70 seconds left, Havoc.
You got it.
What happens after the time runs out?
So, it just determines how hard it will be to exit the trial. We don't.
That's all?
We don't have to do it. We don't have to get all of them, but it helps.
I haven't
Well,
even seen a
awkward.
single box.
This is awkward. Have you tried looking for boxes?
The box?
Oh hell no!
The box. You opened it,
You opened it.
and I came.
Not a box.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! I'm leaving.
Oh, I found a box.
Goodbye, beach. Goodbye.
I found a
beach.
box.
You opened it.
I'm boxed up.
You're boxed up.
Where's the entrance?
Can we do the thingies?
30 seconds.
3 seconds.
Over here, Wiser.
I've not found a box.
Wiser, get over here.
Come on.
I'm out of stamina. I'm on my way. I don't care about you, big dude.
Drop the box. Give me that. Give me that. Give me the box. Drop it.
Oh. Drop it.
Wiser, why didn't
better-
you drop it?
That's a dead end.
Drop it.
That's why I said drop it. What are you doing?
Yeah, drop it like it's hot. Uh-oh.
Drop. Run.
I dropped
Zero's
it.
going to die.
You dropped it
We got
after.
0 seconds.
Bruh.
Woo! Good job, guys.
I could have made that. What are you doing?
Good job.
Wiser's
My
down.
decision-making skills are admittedly not great.
Wiser? Wiser, you good?
Yeah, hello.
I told you to drop it. You had like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was Compromised.
He dropped
Where's
it
Scarlet
too
Mom?
late. She ran away.
Bye.
I have like 3 bricks. Escape the threat level 4.
Yep.
Push that button.
What does that mean?
Oh,
Do we
no.
just exit the main way or the
Push
back
that
way?
button. Push
Pull
that
the lever,
button.
Kronk. Wrong lever.
You just spawns like 4 Jaegers.
Oh my god.
Where are we
Oh my
escaping?
god, I would cry.
Sector B?
We gotta go this way. So 4 ain't too bad. So we gotta run because the gates are open.
Alright, let's run.
The thing's been called, so we gotta leave. We gotta run. We gotta bug it, boys. We gotta run.
Why is there E behind us?
Yeah.
You just
Oh, we just go
something
through the
going-
main way.
We did not. You see nothing. Oh, there was a box right there. Totally
Yeah,
missed
put
that.
that.
How many more times do I have to step in glass? Hold on. Let me look at my taste real quick. I'm gonna look at my taste.
Alright, we're gonna leave.
15 times? I've been doing it more than that. I don't understand.
Glass.
I saw that, thanks for getting it.
Ow! Ow! I'm
This
stepping
place is a
in the
labyrinth of
glass.
pain and annoyance.
Yeah, right here, pull this up.
Oh, that's a dead end.
Okay, nobody
Alright,
wants to
Jay,
help
let
me.
me get this for you.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Goodbye. That's not a lot of
Come
bleeding.
on through. There's no other way.
Where are you guys?
Helping each other because you left us.
Aw.
Yeah,
I've been chased by
police ship.
everything.
No orbs are allowed.
I've been chased by a lot of things at the moment.
There's no one
Hurry!
here.
We're
Yeah, just
stunned.
leave. I gotta throw
Please
these
shoot
bricks
people
first.
behind us.
Thought I stepped in more glass than that.
I'll be this end. Bye bye.
Avitas and hold on, I gotta pick up the bricks that I dropped on the ground.
Eden's nuts.
Get pronked here. There you go. Goodbye. I forgot his name. The cop.
Oil.
Goyle. I pranked him. See, if I didn't throw that brick at him, no A+.
Hey. the-
Nice, complete the
Hey.
trial without stepping on glass. And now I still need to step on 3 glass to complete the other one.
Yeah, I still got step in glass.
300 XP for grade A. I don't think that was worth it.
Took like 2 sips of that. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You're just too good.
Damn near perfect. I'd almost think you're the one teaching me.
Ooh, suffering. Let's do
Nice.
it.
Golf with
hey,
friends.
how are you doing? Happy Saturday. I wanna try
Happy
drugs, please.
Saturday. I need to step
You're
on.
dying. Don't do that. I hope you.
Do we want to do a
get
regular one now?
better. I still gotta do glass.
How many more?
I just need to step in glass 2 more times.
Okay, I need to step on it 3 times.
Okay, we'll do that.
Last one.
Well, yeah. Last sharp glass.
Just do an MK real quick.
there's- Yep.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Go ahead,
Don't
Joe, I was playing
don't
the
worry
background.
about it.
Not realizing that I did. Also
Okay.
do drugs. Are you sick, Leaf? Why are you sick? Everyone's getting sick.
Yeah, it's 6th season.
It is 6th season.
To be winter.
I just keep spreading the mono, and I'm just like, I need some self-control. Let's go. 3 weeks. Uh-oh.
Maybe the way to fix
Sucks.
mono is just to give it to as many people as you can.
I hope you
If
feel better,
everybody
Leaf.
has mono, then no one will be.
And nobody has mono.
Exactly.
That's how that works. Bronchitis. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
No.
I hope it doesn't get too bad. I know someone who actually has bronchitis right now. Few people I know have bronchitis. God, I'm so sorry.
Slim Shady.
I'm see.
Yeah, we're listening to Smack That. Thank you for the hydrate.
Smack that is Eminem? No.
No, Akon says his name. Wait, it is Eminem, featuring Eminem. He missed the rap part.
Oh. Featuring Eminem.
Yeah. Slim
I'm
Shady.
hydrating Akon. Oh, God,
Something
Akon.
Quan.
How do we feel about
Thank you for the
Akon?
cheek rub.
I haven't thought about him since like the 2000s.
I just listen to his music. I don't know.
Okay. I'm hydrating with alcohol, thank you.
I don't know if that's ideal.
Julia, how are you?
Hurry, everybody redeem hydrate. Havoc's channel right now.
Just drowns.
I like Eminem's newer. Is it newer? Godzilla. That's a good one. It's
I am
newer.
Godzilla. I don't know the song.
Take a shot. Well, okay. You know what? You're sick, so let me take a big gulp of this because that's a good idea.
Like that.
Smack that.
Smack that.
Did anyone watch the
Existing.
Macy's parade? I didn't get to watch it.
Hey, there's glass here.
Oh,
Bets
thank you.
on
I need
existing.
Oh, I need bandages. Why did I step in glass? I didn't have any bandages.
Did you have work today?
Bandage here.
What's your plan the rest of the night? Or are you at work now?
Havoc, do you want bandages?
Yes, please.
What the hell? I somehow dodged that. I am Ultra Instinct.
I just came up here to find you.
You lied. Give it, Ron.
Why was the big lady there? I just came out.
You want it or not?
Oh, I gotta stop bleeding. It doesn't count anymore. No.
I work to
It was
success.
mine.
That's still okay.
Take these.
I gotta stop the bleeding so it doesn't. Give me the
Smack
healing.
that. Behind
not
you
now.
is a giant lady.
Havoc, I'm just
Yeah, Toys
chasing
R
you,
Us.
trying to give you these bandages.
Oh, I
Please
got
just
some.
take them. Oh my
you.
god.
Got some.
Oh.
Thank you.
She lost us
Toys
in
R Us
front
had
of the
a
door.
float, and they were playing. What were they playing? Turn down for what? It
Turn down for what? Bow,
was like this is a
bow.
millennial fever dream. I was like, fuck yeah.
There's a thing here. Shipping yard. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a
Grab
stun,
a-
I have a heal rig.
Hey, Weiser, stand behind me.
No, I've fallen for this once.
Oh, the big
Refuse.
lady's here now. She went downstairs.
Oh, shit. Oh, crud. The cougar.
Wait, who grabbed two of these?
sorry.
Train
got
Depot.
I'm stalking it.
What the
Weiser, did you grab two
hell?
of them?
No, I just have one.
Oh, that's locked.
Excuse me, the hell? Why did she just start running at me at Mach speed when she didn't even see me?
I wish there were. Actually, I never thought about mods for this game. I should like.
No,
I
that's
should
okay. You can save.
look that up. Make it harder for us.
It's already too
I
easy.
want a mod that lets me be Gold Ship from Uba Musume.
I've got a condition. Oh, DJ, falling in love tonight. Let's go.
Do we have to enter the codes at the same time? Or...
No. Bam, bam.
Dance, dance, I guess the last night of your life won't get you right. Oh, we got one already?
Yeah, I got the skull.
Which was in the chem lab
Yes.
or train depot? Where are you?
That was Chem Lab.
Okay, I'm not in the train depot. I don't know where I am.
We need shipping
Oh,
yard
wait.
and train depot.
It's flipping for me. Where is it flipping? Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh,
The
wait,
hell
there it
was
is.
that throw?
Am I being chased?
I swear to
was
God, if you
just
throw another one at
standing
me.
Triangle is 648. If anyone wants to punch that in.
I got you, Havoc.
The picture is over there.
Thank you. Lockhart, hello. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Did I do the things? I gotta do it one more time. I like stereo hearts. The closest thing, the first thing I've ever heard of like EDM before. Oh, so good. Clarity. Oh my god. Go that way. Huh? Ads? No. Get out of here. Ad snoozed for 5 minutes. Yep.
Five ever.
Leaving. Goodbye.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, this is a 10N. Oh no. Oh, he forgot about it. No, he didn't now. Ah. Bye. I looped him. Who came?
What?
Someone came. Lupara came. He's here.
Get slowed down.
Get a little slow down. Inconvenience.
Inconvenience loser.
Yeah, get pranked. Watch out, watch out.
Oh, hey, Jane.
Did you get the
She just
triangle?
ignores you.
I feel like, you know how
What was triangle again?
6? What is this? Spider-Man?
Jesus Christ.
Train people.
Shannon! Wow. I gotta take my glasses off. This is far from ideal. Thank you, Shonen. You can do it just what you like. Oh, dear Lord. You make me feel good.
Oh my god, it's what is this song?
Bottle of alcohol.
It's Cooler Than Me, that's what it's called.
Oh.
It's playing Cooler Than Me. I couldn't.
Get out of here.
You getting chased? 'Cause there's a guy there.
No, I stepped on glass.
Right here.
I stepped to
Hold up, thank you.
glass. Do you guys
The
remember?
guy's here, watch out.
Very obscure YouTube series
Yes.
called Clay World.
Man,
Now it's just these blue
world.
blobs.
Well,
Uh-oh. Oh, that's not ideal. That's far from
Which one
ideal.
do we need? Shipping depot or?
Yeah, I'm here now. I'm trying to figure out how everything works. Good luck. Thank you, Shona. Thank you. I'm like 2 glasses of whiskey in and I can't see.
lightweight.
Another Screamer? What is this? Screamer Village?
I don't drink that much. I really don't. I drink like
missed.
occasionally. Do like once a week, once a month.
Damn it! I ran into it.
Hello? Wiser, you made him scream.
I'm pretty good at that.
You're really good at making men scream.
Whoa!
You. Bro, they're all over me.
Oh hell. yeah.
Okay.
Hi, cat.
Oh.
Cat, get in here.
Oh shit. Oh. I need a battery.
I just
thank
used
you,
one.
Thank you, game. That's so nice of you. Okay, I'm looking for the
What
The
the
code.
hell? Why you punch me? I've never seen the fucking poison guy hit someone.
Yeah, they all any X-Pop can hit you if you're like in its way.
Yeah, but I thought he was grabbing me. He just bonked me on the head.
Oh.
I got bonked.
Oh god damn it.
Why is it getting absolutely brutalized right next to me? So I was just like casually walking by. Oh hi! Oh,
so sick
oh
of this
shit!
place.
What the
I'm
hell?
so sorry. Run, Weiser, run.
You just call me Budweiser?
Budweiser. No, I said. Wait, did I?
Yeah.
I just called you Budweiser. No, I
Why the hell does Frankie got 5,000 accuracy when I
said
throw a
run,
bottle at him?
Weiser. I said run. Oh, I'm
This
flipping.
guy is clearly cheating.
I definitely
He's
heard
wall hacking.
Budweiser
What are you
run.
doing?
Budweiser, run!
Budweiser, run. I said run, Weiser. Oh.
Oops.
Oh.
The fuck you think you are? Looking at me like that.
No.
Can I pause this?
It's flipping over here. It's flipping somewhere around here. Find the flippy. Where is it flipping? Oh, here it is. I closed the door for
What the hell is happening?
reason.
My tracking was off.
5 through 7 is the spiral.
What?
5 through 7.
5, 3, 7.
Owie. I just dipped my toes in the glass.
Hey, man, I
It
made it
hurts.
for you.
The pain.
Get slowed down. Get pranked.
Never mind, I stepped in glass myself.
Boom. 5 through 7. I could do it just like you like.
Whoa, whoa.
Something behind me. Something's behind me. No. I should listen to myself when I was like, if there's something. Oh, you're wall hacking. Oh, not ideal. Not
How
ideal,
the
not
hell did I
ideal.
still step on that, bro?
Press the button.
Yeah, we can do that now.
I pressed the button.
Press the
Someone's
button.
boobs have been removed and hung on the wall in here.
Cool. Get the thing
I don't like
and
that.
put it in the.
Where's the loot?
boat.
Let me grab it. Let me grab that.
Grab it.
I'm on adrenaline.
On
Ow!
a boat and
I stunned him for you.
it's going fast. And
Where are we delivering it to?
oh, there's a boat
Yeah, where's the boat?
up front near the entrance.
Whoa! I'm down.
What?
Or am I?
Oh no, you got last
I
chance. Here, Jan, help me
lived.
up. You got-
There's a big lady chasing me. I can't. You can help me up.
Weiser, help me up. Weiser, hurry up.
Weiser's next to you.
Oh, God!
I'm right here.
Get out of here. I'm gonna
Ow.
hide.
Shot me.
Alright, I can help you up. Get over here.
I don't want to go up.
You guys, get up here. I can help you.
Nah. You get the box because Franco Barbie's like right here.
Where do I drop it?
I stunned him.
Man, help me up.
I'm going down.
I'm yelling timber.
I'm going down.
I'm going down.
Franco's awake
Oh,
now.
Come here,
I'm not your
slut.
sweetness. Pussy.
Get prompt. I missed my bottle.
They don't have the box.
Yeah, it's right here.
Hurry, run.
Don't shoot me!
This is so quick. Ow.
Get
I
prompt!
didn't think the bottle did anything. Oh, I have an extra one. Oh, there's a
Okay,
third
okay.
person for
Let's
this
stop
thing?
shooting me.
Get out of there, Weiser!
Shoot them.
Wait,
Yeah,
we didn't
well,
even
we
press
got
the
the
button.
Oh, I did not press
Those
the
guys.
Bam! Headshot. I'm juking him. I'm juking him.
Oh, my.
Oh, 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 oh,
Did I
oh.
drink the last time I got hurt?
Eat that! Ow. Are you kidding me? I got hurt so much.
Hands up.
I thought you were sapping him. What happened?
He didn't let me. He shot like just as it was finished.
B. That's fine. I got hit
There's
like
a
20
B?
times.
There's
Yeah,
a
12
B.
times.
I got A minus. Woo. Cool.
I think I
Wait,
finished
that's
the
all the
glass.
tasks I got.
Yeah, I had to step on glass and get hurt like 50 times.
Yeah, and I
That does
still
lower my
got
grade.
A minus. I'm almost out of drink. I gotta stop adding ice to my drink. Cat. Hey, cat. How is your horse
You're
game?
making progress.
Let's go to the beach. Beach.
You need to try
Let's
harder.
go to the beach.
You have to
Let's
shock
go to it.
yourself out of the comforts and lazy assumptions.
Nicki Minaj, I used to like
Accept
her.
the
Not so
therapy.
much.
I
I
Stage.
didn't really like the intro, but I like the chorus for this.
The what? Oh, the chorus?
Yeah. Starships.
I can't for the life of me remember the verses of the
Starships are meant to fly, and that's all I
the
know.
chorus.
Yeah,
Beach is a verse, yeah.
that's the intro.
Bad bitches like me, it's hard to come by.
Stay cool.
I used to know the whole whole song to Super Bass.
Anything I can do to help.
Mr. Beast?
No, Super Bass. RC game?
I am done with
I
the
was
sharp
like-
class.
I was okay, me too. I was hanging out in Cat's. We could rebirth.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Never.
Yes.
I am at 908 tokens.
Rebirth.
I don't really need outerwear.
I used to know all of Super Bass, but then there was one bad word, and I don't say that word. I say fucker instead.
Where's
remember-
the Ryan?
I remember Super Bass is one of those songs where you hear it in a club and everyone loses their goddamn mind. I feel like that, like Lady Gaga. Sometimes you Backstreet Boys. I remember like Spice Girls in the club and people like lost their shit. I remember like we heard Super Bass in a club. We were like we all like vodka shots. Yeah, this one's for the boys with the boom assistant downtown. AC with the cooler system. When he coming in the club, he blazing up. Got stacks on deck, he's saving up. Oh. Necro! Hi, Necro! Next
Hello,
is
Necro.
Labyrinthine. Necro should play Outlast Trials. Necro, I've been quoting Oh Fug Googer like all night.
Is that the back shot of 87? Oh, fuck.
The back shot of
Why is that
87.
like here? Was that the back shot of 87?
Back shot of 87.
Oh, that's a clip of me.
Yeah, that's what I heard in the clip.
That was from the Mimic. Was that the
The
back shot of
Mimic.
87? Oh, game is freaking out. That was weird.
Mhm.
All right, so no more sharp glass. We're good. Why is
I
my
think
game
Weiser's
lagging?
done with the glass.
Yeah. Oh, my game is like very laggy. Why? But why are you laggy now? What happened? Turn you down a bit, I guess. Yeah, I've been saying, oh, fug a googer. No more glass? Oh, cool. We can rebirth, or do you want
You
to
need to do the weekly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do weekly? Heal rig. Antidote. Okay, I guess I'm bringing a heal rig.
Wait,
How much longer are you guys planning on going?
like 3 more days.
What time is it? Yeah. 24-hour stream.
Bro, I'm going
It's
out.
10,
people later.
14.
I
I'm
can't.
probably gonna maybe 11, 11:30. So maybe like less than
An
an
hour.
hour. An hour to
Okay,
any more
okay.
drink.
It's perfect.
Any more-
That's like
Should I get more
1
drink?
to 2 trials.
Yeah, I'll probably do like 30 more
Oh, big
minutes. Like
ones.
one more trial.
Alright, let's just do one big one. That'll be the last one.
You guys have any requests?
You have only
No more
one
sharp
try.
glass.
Your favorite one.
My favorite one. Oof. Liquidate the Union's such a pain. Poison the Medicine is I like that one. Plus the Prosecutor's kind of Yeah, not the sex toy factory. I don't. What's my favorite main one? Unless the
Cyber
Orchids is
Monday.
too- Let's do one. Poison Medicine. I think we did that last time. Well, fuck it. Let's go to the sex toy factory. Why not? I already
Sex
hate
toy
myself
factory.
enough. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. But before that, I'm going to go and do something. Get it some drink. Thank you, shooting. I will be right back. Converse among yourselves.
I'm looking at stuff.
I'm catching up for my last hits.
Yep.
EP Havoc, yeah, she EP.
She's gonna pass out before she comes back.
Would it be if she just like went and was like, oh, I'll lay down for a quick minute and then fell asleep? Just left us here.
We'll never start a mission. What the hell? Here we go. That's what I want. Dun, 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 dun. Which one was it?
Okay, I think
Was
we're
it
all caught up.
this?
This will be an interesting last draft, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm angry and sad. Who you are in the trial is who you are inside.
Havoc has 216 arm wrestling victories.
Yeah. You see how much I
Maybe so,
have?
for real. Only 132.
Yeah, and all of them are from Havoc.
Oh, what? Wait, what's going on? What?
The arm wrestling matches. I said 130 my Windsor from you.
Oh. Yeah. I got a good amount of arm wrestling victories. Only one. How did I win chess 5 times? 20? When did that happen? We could do in 21.
No.
Oh my god.
Jan doesn't
Gotta
want to
do
we
one
work
last
with
trial.
me. One last trial? No.
One big last trial.
Escalation attempts. Okay. That's Takahashi. Alright, I changed my mind. We are not doing the sex toy factory because I hate that place.
I changed my mind. We're rebirthing.
I wish Jan doesn't want the.
Reaver takes like 2 seconds.
I think I like poison medicine. We just did kill the politician. Grind the bad apples is fun. They're all fun.
They're
Kill
all
the
fun.
snitch is
This game's
classic.
amazing.
It is. That's what I'm
Oh my
saying.
gosh, I just can't choose my favorite.
I know. There's so many good ones.
What?
Liquidate the units ain't too bad.
Oh my god, Cyber Monday 17% off. You
17? What
save
kind of fucking
50
ripoff?
bucks. At least this one's half off.
Wait, what store are you looking at?
I'm looking at Amazon.
Amazon. Amazon's a.
None of these are
Probably.
50. Except this one, but I already have headsets.
17% off. Wow.
You can get a biomask.
We're going to grind the bad apples because I think that's the one that'll give me an acid trip.
Okay.
Not on. Oh,
A
why is there invisible?
100 double A battery.
Why isn't it ever 100% off? Huh?
They did
You know-
back in 2007. There's one at Lowe's, so
real?
you get the bucket this year. Did you miss
Bucket?
that one?
Just
Oh.
Yeah, you get to go to
Yes.
the store and you get a free bucket, and you can have like $2,000 free credit in store.
You could. It's like one bucket out of like
The
a
bucket
1,000
is
buckets.
free,
It's like the
but
golden bucket.
the bucket inside you can also just get some random tools for free. It's still free.
Was it
You
good?
don't lose anything. It's free stuff,
just
You
five-finger
know, that's
discount.
true.
and you get a free bucket.
Free bucket.
And you get a bucket.
You can put that
You
on
get
your
a free
head.
bucket. Good free bucket. Have you guys seen
That's
the
a free
Target
bucket.
ones?
No.
The Target swag bags? Oh my god. the
I've seen the
people
Target
waited.
no sale until Black Friday
No.
off tag.
No. The Target swag bags were awful.
The swag
people
bags?
waited in line until like 2 in the morning.
Well,
They're
that's
like
their own fault.
cookies and shit.
That's their own fault. They're trying to shop at Target.
You're stupid. I'm sorry, but Target has lost all credibility with me.
They've
I haven't
lost
been
it
to
last
Target
year.
in so long. I don't go to Target anymore. Oh, babies. For food, I go to Aldi. For toiletries, I go to Costco.
I
makeup, I
go
go
to
Ulta.
the every store.
The every store.
That's it's
probably
called. It
Walmart.
has everything. Yeah, I got a free membership.
That's-
So,
Oh,
and I have
thank
free
you.
delivery.
not bad. Oh yeah, people got scammed at Target. I'm like, what was you think was gonna happen? You think we were getting Stanleys or something? Oh,
What is that? It's just a guy.
it's just a dude. Oh fuck it, Cooper.
There's no more glass, but I'm still afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid of glass. Yeah, it really conditions you to be afraid of glass.
Which is good because you're not supposed to touch them anyway.
People got like
But it looks
like these like
touchable.
you get.
Well, now
like-
you can
like,
walk
they
on
got
it with your
cookie-
thing.
They got a Uno pack of cards, and it's like, what the? Uh-oh, Liza, you have a friend.
Thanks, Target.
Ow! Owie! Yeah, I'm sorry. If you wait in line for Target, I don't know what to tell you. Uh-oh.
The last good deal was in 2015.
Last good deal?
In Target.
Make my way. I made my way back out of the theme park.
Nice.
I made this one too strong.
Who wants a rig recharger?
Ooh, I'll take one.
What's the password?
I would love one, thank you.
Password denied.
Please, Jane, can I have it?
Yeah, it's on the ground here. Get
What?
pranked! I got his ass. He might turn around. I pranked him.
Where are y'all?
We're hiding.
I'm like, oh,
Did he see you? What? Oh no.
floppy
Damn, I
to
think
the
you're
asshole
down.
within the.
What the hell just happened?
Heart stew.
I just lagged for like 5 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty laggy myself.
My game froze and everything in the background froze.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was doing that. I was freezing too, a little bit.
Get slowed
it
down.
Makes me feel better that Dino Blade
I still
also
got it.
like made your stream super laggy. Uh-oh. Like it's not just me. Wah!
Throw
Wah!
organs?
Yeah, we have to go to the organ
Party
shop.
games.
Oh, you're so big.
Yeah, the two of the games are here. We have to go over there in the middle, Wiser.
Wait, why have you not done this one before?
No. Jan
Oh,
tried
it
to
gives
invade me
you
when I was
the
doing
list
this
of
one
the
before.
places we have to go to. Alien
Yeah, I
Invaders
was
with
trying to tell you
clowns,
where to go,
balls,
and then you
a
left.
bucket. I did balls in a bucket.
I was like, we gotta go this way, and then you dipped out on me.
Also, there's a map of a map up here where we can go. But if you just listen for the music, you'll know. Uh-oh. 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 There's like 1,000 people here. Oh, fuck.
Get
Oh,
pranked.
fuck. Gosh, I thought you'd done this one with us before.
Whoa.
Oh, you did, the one with the targets, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
One left.
I remember now.
Nice. Oh, we didn't open this entrance. Never mind. It's open.
I got one heart.
Get slowed down.
You've been inconvenienced.
I need to do like
I need
2
more
4 more
heart.
enemies.
I think it's a prick. I don't really care at this point. Oh, how dare you! Oh,
We've won both our games over here.
oh, sorry. There's an alien
Oh,
movie.
man, look at all of this.
Yeah. I'm the
Grab
wiener.
this ticket over here.
I'm stepping in so much glass and I'm so confused. Why am I not bleeding?
Happens.
I got 2 tickets.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum,
You got all
bum,
the
ba-dum,
tickets?
bum.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dream team.
Wiser, let's go.
I'm being spawn camped.
Just don't.
2 tickets. What am I supposed to do?
Hey, Jan.
What are my
This
tasks?
way.
Antidote. Oh,
Tickets, please.
slow down.
Here, Jan. I have something for you. Okay, maybe
What
on
is
the
it?
other side of the doors.
Hearts don't do anything.
I'm trying to give Jan my
Love you,
heart.
please.
Thank you.
Hit the bot. Ah, why you do this?
Get pranked.
I got pranked.
Oh yeah, my 24 terabyte storage came in.
24.
Yeah.
What's funnier than 24? You know what's funnier than 24?
25.
6, 7.
I'm leaving.
God.
I'm leaving the trial.
Hey, no.
I have a friend who's a teacher, and when I saw her last week, and she's like, I am going to lose my goddamn mind. She teaches like elementary school kids. Took a big swig just for that. Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, guys, got around the root canal. Yeah, I know. I could not be.
I got
could not be
Five
a
Nights at
teacher.
Freddy's.
I drank this
That's
one.
the movie. Oh, FNAF
Oh my
2's
god,
coming
that comes out next
soon.
week. And JJK.
I'm gonna watch FNAF 2, and then I'm gonna theater hop and go see Wicked.
Not gonna watch JJK.
That's what I.
We're not caught up in yet either.
That's, oh, secret door. Wait, JJK movie's coming out? I haven't even seen
Yeah,
the
it comes
series.
out the same time as FNAF. That's what I said.
Oh shit.
Thank you for the hydrate. Behind you, Wiser. Get
You're allowed in here. This
slowed
is my safe space.
down.
This is my safe space.
It's fine. You're getting healed. Let's get out of here.
That's the first part of Wicked. I
Thank you for the
watched
chick
it,
crunch.
and then
Gonna hide.
it's like a 3-hour movie, so I passed out halfway through, so I need to rewatch
Oh
it.
hell no! 3-hour
I've
movie.
seen it. It's like 2 hours 45-ish. And I know what goes on in that. I've
Just
seen the
watching Demon
musical
Slayer
many
again.
times.
At that point.
I watched Demon Slayer. I haven't even seen the first. I haven't seen Infinity Castle Part 1.
Bruh.
I'm so behind. I was waiting for it to like be out. Illegal,
It's been
you
out.
know. Yeah, I've been trying to. So many
Gonna
movies
watch
I
it
need to
tomorrow.
watch, man. Okay, watch it tomorrow.
You do a movie.
Cause I'm gonna watch Twin Peaks.
BL Blue
Ow,
Lock?
bitch.
I love Blue Lock.
Blue Lock? Yeah, I'll watch
Wait.
it. Oh, you.
I love
But you
this
need to
song
keep
that's
Brick
playing
on
in
you,
the
my dude.
background.
Jan,
caught
I
laughing
found
too.
a. Who the fuck? That's not Jan.
That's not me.
Jan.
Jan, you have a weird
Parentheses.
haircut. I don't know you.
Thanks.
Jan parentheses. Oh. I gotta take a sip for that.
It's open. You're full psychosis.
You're good.
Living la
Miles,
vida
alright, I healed
loca.
you. Living la vida loca.
Buddy.
What was I saying before?
Found a brick.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've seen.
Wait.
Get pranked.
There was a person there. I don't know if me like turning around and slamming the door shut was enough indicator to
You
tell
slammed
there
it
was
on
somebody
him.
In my face.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I've seen Wicked a handful of times, so I know what happens, but I still want to see the movie. I just need to be awake for it. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Stamina.
I want to see FNAF 2. Looks so good. You ever see like with what's her face as Chica? Megan Fox? I think she'd be really good as Toy Chica.
Oh
Toy
god.
Chica's very girly pop.
You closed it on
That's what
me.
Megan Fox is. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you.
You walked up in front of me. What do you mean?
Yeah, I did not see you. I do not see. So many good movies coming out. Issues.
Where's the
Alright,
last
come on, guys.
barrier?
Let's go up.
We need one more barrier.
No, I sent the children up to the fiery pits of hell.
Alright. Come on
Wiser,
up.
come here. Wiser,
East.
come here. We're coming up here.
You just have to press spacebar.
That's a little confusing. Theatrical musicals I've ever seen were I was tech in high school for drama club.
Bam.
That weren't in movie format. Oh really? I love going to live shows. It's very rare that I do though. I've seen the Beetlejuice musical twice. I think that's the extent of my well, recent. I think Beetlejuice was like the last musical I saw live in New York. I want to go. Whee! Is it? I think so. I want to see Mean Girls the musical. I want to see Mean Girls the musical. I want to watch the I want to see the Book of Mormon. I never seen that live. What else? What
I'm
else
going
was I
upstairs for
barely
C
know?
and D.
Oh, I'm so far behind. I'm downstairs for A and B. Oh wait, I'm supposed to follow the pipes. Duh. Weiser, wait, you got blue? B for blue?
Colorblind, but I'm
Or
not.
A for blue? I guess I got A. Must be the Monday.
Oh, I meant to put you on the other side of that.
Excuse me, what's this Armidas?
Yeah, I feel it. I also don't really have the means to do so. I mean, the city that I'm near has shows, but they're gonna be on pricier side, but it's okay. Right now, like, it's all about, like, since the holidays, it's like the Nutcracker, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait. Cool. I got, A?
I got the wrong valve.
I don't
Nice.
have the means to do so. Be right back. Beetlejuice is so fun. I saw it twice. Are you good?
No.
No, you cray. Fine, I healed you. And there was an antidote right next to me, which means I'm wasted. Heal! Wiser!
Wait, that's not my fault.
Did you Did you get a B? Did you get B?
No, not yet.
Get B?
This guy
Whoa.
keeps trying to stab me.
Beach? Get to the beach? Let's go to the beach. Whoa, Wiser, he wants your cake. Wiser, he wants your cake. He can see in the dark, Wiser. There's no hiding from him. He knows you're there. Wiser, run!
Knows you're here.
Oh no, I've seen the Nutcracker before live. It's beautiful. It's stunning. I've seen it like a handful of times because they always play it around this time. That's not Wiser.
That's not the right valve.
Are you sure?
Alright, well you have fun with your friend. I'm gonna find the pipe. You're like, you're getting pounded.
Yeah, I'm getting
Nice.
my ass beat.
What'd you do?
Oh damn it, I'm stupid. I
No,
go
you're
too
not.
early. Oh, I forgot I was still not in the beta.
How is that still the wrong
Because
valve?
back then we can just lift it up halfway, and then the thing would still be up.
Oh! Yeah. Oh my god, this pipe's so long! What the
That's
hell?
what she said.
That's what your dad said.
Where's my
Dad?
dad saying that?
Now I want to look up what's playing in my local theater. Oh, I used to do a lot of like musicals, but for the
Get
pit band.
pranked.
I was in the band, playing the music. Uh-oh. While people were singing, I was in the band. And then I went from band to going back and forth with sound and lighting. So that was really cool. Then I went
Whoa,
back to
whoa,
the pit.
whoa.
What did I do? I'm
Whoa.
trying to think. I've done BG and the Beast. I've done South Pacific. Oh shit, what were the other two? I don't remember. I remember doing Oklahoma?
Get off me, lady.
Wow, I can't remember. Wizard of Oz. I
What
did
the
Wizard of
hell?
Oz.
That's it. Get slowed down.
I'm literally like trying to think of the other two that I can.
It's over there where she is. Watch out.
I remember South Pacific. Pajama Game! Pajama Game! I love Pajama Game.
Why, sir? She's coming to get
Is the
you.
Oklahoma musical a movie now? Probably. I feel like any old musical is a movie now. I'm trying to think. I didn't do Chicago. What was the first one I did?
You guys can go back. I already got the
Was
pipe.
it was a Music Man. Oh, we got A and B. There you go.
Yeah, I was getting chased by her.
Hugh Jackman.
Why is there go down?
Was he also in Limos?
Yeah, he was the singer.
He was Javert. Jan!
Come on.
You go, fug. Not what I wanted.
I already pushed it down.
What was the number? Oh shit. What was the prisoner's number? Jean Valjean.
We still need 2 posters.
Grisham.
Where you guys at?
No one was there. I'm here. I'm behind you. Weiser is also approaching our location.
I'm about to push it all the way.
There's so many of them. I'm so uncultured. Oh. You seen Wizard of Oz? Uh-oh. I don't have
stunner?
a stun. I
Why
got
not?
no stun. I gotta heal. That
You
doesn't
gotta
do
tell me
anything.
this now.
That does nothing. That
Yeah,
barely does
distractor.
anything. She's aggro on me, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Oh!
Bam! Get slowed
I got
down.
screwed.
Okay, well, you're running away from me. I'm trying to heal you.
Oh, I mean, oh no. No, you didn't heal me in time.
Yeah, because you ran away from me.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
because Gooseberry was chasing me.
How did she see me? She's cheating.
Run, Jad, run.
It's okay, I got maximum health. Maximum overdrive.
I didn't get anything from the secret room.
I already used it
I
all.
just pressed the button. I opened it. I didn't
I
get
used it
anything from the
all. We're
secret room.
leaving.
Oh, I want stuff. Sugar
I
seed.
used everything in there.
You are
We
a
still need
liar and
2
a
more
scoundrel. There's a
posters.
full heal.
I used everything.
full
You have
heal.
nothing left.
There's a full ass heal here and bandages.
Nope, it's all empty.
My favorite musical is Sweeney Todd. I love that musical. Kind of explains a few things.
Weiser's been muted this whole time. Don't tell him.
Weiser, what the hell? Where are you going?
No, I
Weiser,
haven't
come
been
here.
muted.
You guys
This
are going the
guy's
wrong
been
way. Why is
muted.
this-
We need 2 more posters.
Oh. Sorry. It's also, why is it so windy?
Because it's windy day.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
You need heal, so you're at the full heal already.
It's Wednesday. Get it? Because
Where are these posters?
I don't know. That's why I'm going slowly. Because I might just pass them.
Do we want to go back inside?
I mean, we could.
My eyes.
Gooseberry's not there anymore.
Yeah,
I
she's
found
gonna spawn
one
near the front.
inside. Yeah, I'm going back inside.
I haven't been paying
I
attention,
didn't really.
to be
I
honest.
didn't explore anything.
Fucking, I'm crazy. Oh, do I have full psychosis?
Yeah,
From one mine?
you were already a little bit crazy before.
What?
You didn't heal.
I wasn't crazy. You're crazy. No, that
Do
was.
you-
I got full psychosis. Wait, how many times do I have to do? 3 times? I gotta do it one more. I gotta find a bomb somewhere. Mine.
That's not gonna give you a full one though.
Yeah.
You need like 2
Maybe a trap
mines.
door. Oh, I found one. No, it gives me full psychosis.
Just 1 mine.
Oh, hi, Schooner Man.
Let me
A
test
mine
this
gives you
out.
full psychosis. What? I think that might be an intensive thing.
Oh, it is.
Is it? More deadly traps. I don't know.
Maybe.
Montreal Brides released Sweeney Todd related songs, and I watched it. Wait. Oh, you're right. What?
We gotta check
Montreal
upstairs. Upstairs is where we didn't really check the most.
I need to look at that.
I was getting chased the whole time.
Okay, we'll
At
go
the
upstairs.
pump
I don't even
room.
remember being upstairs.
Yeah, it was just me the whole time. I was just doing the pipes, not really checking.
Yeah, I was just dicking around, honestly, thinking about playing musicals.
It's okay.
Yep. Speaking of dicking around, I'm gonna take a sip. I haven't. Wait, does losing psychosis count as getting damage?
You lose minus 50, but then you gain plus 100 when you heal it. So there's no really downsides. You gain points.
I just took a swig. Yes, thank you, Al. I want to hear that. You know who's a really big Sweeney Todd fan is Josh Groban. I love Josh Groban. He did a cover of a Sweeney Todd song. And he named his dog Sweeney. And his dog passed like years ago. Josh Groban is like my type. Like he's such a dork. He's so goofy. He's so cute though. He's the voice of an angel. Hey Jan.
I figured you
Oh,
can bash
no.
the same You can bash the same door you locked if you run forward and press
Oh.
left click.
Ah.
I thought
Parkour.
these posters were the friends we made along the way, because I'm not finding anything.
I don't think these posters exist, Jan. I think you're just trolling us. Uh-oh.
What the hell?
Oh no. Y'all good? Uh-oh, my game. Uh-oh.
Where is he? Where's he
Uh-oh.
going?
Uh-oh, what
Oh,
happened?
he left already.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All my windows got minimized?
Like
Where's
a
that game?
G6.
No, not like a G6. Can someone protect me while I try to boot up? What happened?
Like a G6.
You didn't say like a G6. Oh, there
That's
we
the
go, there we
song
go.
that was playing.
Oh, I love that
I have
song.
filled my psychosis.
Popping bottles in the ice like Blizzard. Hi, was there. When we drink, we do it right. Getting slizzard. Oh,
Alright, I've completed
why did
my
why
cure.
did it, you guys probably stole my background? Popping bottles. In
Where are
the
these posters
ice.
at?
I don't know. We need 2 more.
I'm gonna check the middle area.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one. When we drink, we do it right. Getting slizzard.
We were
Where are
here.
these posters? Ah, I found one. I knew they
Need
existed.
one more.
If you see a poster.
Thanks,
Oh.
man. Be cool, man.
Be cool, dude.
Just playing Pal World.
Pal World.
Yeah.
Miss Ark. There's so many games I want to play.
I'm gonna
Oh,
check
wait,
the
hold on,
outside
hold
now.
on.
Yeah. We might have missed one in the beginning since we kind of ran through that.
There should be an abundance of
Whoa.
posters, right?
Whoa.
Otherwise, are you good?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Whoa. I am locked in a room where there's only one cover in here.
Have fun.
Please don't
When we
check the
drink, we do a
locker.
ride, get slizzard.
He's just leaving.
Jen,
He's not even gonna check.
what is this playlist you have, Jen? I need it.
It's the Pitbull playlist. Oh, it's playing Super Bass.
Hey! This one's for the boys of the boom system. Top down AC with the cooler system.
Oh, whoops.
Oh,
Get
is that a-
slowed down.
He comes in the club and he plays it up. Stop that. Oh, there's a big dude right there. Shh. Oh shit! I ran into cans.
Are you
He's gonna
kidding me?
see me. Now he's gonna know I'm here. I can't find. I can't find a poster.
Better go post stall if we don't find one soon.
Probably one at the edge right here.
I do not recommend this play this game drunk. I'm not even drunk. Tipsy. Oh god. Oh god. Oh fuck. A googer. I got to.
Oh, I need a dog boots. Thanks.
Uh-oh, there's a big dude right there. Shh. Don't hit me, please. Please don't hit me. Do not bitch smack. Please refrain from the bitch smacking. Thank you. Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord, he's coming after me. Whee!
Where's this
Can we find a
poster at?
poster? Oh, I found it!
Alright, press that
Leave
button.
now! Press it!
the button.
Leave! Flee! Leave while you still can!
Get drunk, Gooseberry.
I found the last 2 posters.
Nice job.
Let's get out of here.
So proud of you, Patrick.
Whoa, baby.
Wait, there's a bottle here.
Oh no. Oh no, baby. I have so many heals on me.
Get
I have so many
dropped.
heals on me. on, Jan.
All the posters got turned into heals because I wasn't looking for a single health thing the entire time.
I have like one full heal
I
and
had-
2 baby heals.
I had like
I-
3 antidotes.
I got an A. Wait,
Triggered
did.
sound traps 21.
Instead
the
of
red
receiving
text
damage,
weird.
it should be take a
Nice.
sip whenever you like trigger a sound trap.
Oh, welcome in, Raiders.
Raiders. Raid. Sunburnt
Get
Sally, hello.
raided.
Welcome on in. I got raided. Oh my goodness. Hi guys. What were you guys doing? Nice to see you. Hi. Oh my god. Raid. Welcome everyone. How do I do shoutouts again?
I did
Oh,
it
no,
already.
I'm too... You did? I want an actual Sunburnt Sally. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much.
I'm
for
sorry, at least I guessed
My
the
name's
goat right.
Havoc.
Ghost
My
right,
name-
bitch. And the goat,
What's
too.
up, my friends. Jan and
That's
Because
Liza.
I'm the
Phasmophobia.
goat.
You're playing Phasmo?
No, in the clip I got a Phasmo clip.
So shut up. I can't take
They're
things
playing
seriously.
Phasmo.
when I'm antagonizing
Playing
you.
I still
God
haven't
damn
played
it.
the.
Oh, Charles.
Oh god.
I said that.
I tried.
I said they were playing trials.
I'm trying so hard to
Let's try it.
antagonize you.
Oh, it
and I
only showed up
can't.
on my side. That's weird.
We are good. We're just doing our tasks right now. We
And
were just
she's
messing around
drinking.
with this. I am. Me and my Budweiser are. Dan is
Yep.
drinking water because he is responsible.
I
One of my
love
favorite games-
Budweiser.
Oh hell yes! I love Outlast Trials. It's like my favorite game too. It's like my favorite horror multiplayer game.
This
it's
isn't a
so
horror
good.
game.
It's a. I always tell people Outlast Trials is like a home decor, like house flip, ash game with a little bit of horror, like disguised as a horror game. Thank you so much for being here. If you have to go raid and run, please do. I do appreciate you guys for being here. It's nice to meet y'all. Yeah, I play a lot of Trials if you're interested in that. My friends here also play a lot of Trials too. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm a little obsessed. Not gonna lie. I like broke my friends into playing this game.
Yeah, Wester had a great time with the glass event today.
Yeah.
I was
The
so
broken glass one
overjoyed.
was the glass one's so funny. Oh my god. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself and thank you so much for the raid. Please go take care of yourself if you need to. It's awesome you guys are here. Yeah, I'm doing an experiment. Every time I like lose damage. Wait, what? Lose health.
Every time you lose damage.
Shut up. Every time you lose health, you take a sip. That's to make me buy it so I can evade her. Ah, that's true. I do have it set to that, don't I?
You need to turn that off.
I have invasion turned on. What do you guys want to do?
Thought that was the last one.
It was?
Yeah, we said that. We'll do one last big trial.
Oh. I said 11
Bedtime.
a.m. 11 a.m. It's bedtime.
It's 11 p.m. in 5 minutes.
I can.
Oh, the club.
I'll hang out a little bit more. I'm gonna keep playing.
In the club.
It's in the clear.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my friends to pick me up. So
You sound tired.
I am very like I'm cooked.
You're very what?
I'm cooked.
Oh, you're wiser.
Cooked? What does that mean? I thought
Like
you were
this
wiser.
was a pre-game to the club, and I'm out here.
You're gonna go to club right now?
In the
Yeah,
club,
pretty soon.
In the,
we're cooked.
in the club. We all fam.
Turns out in the club,
Oh.
we not all fam. And like, fuck you for making me think that we were.
Damn.
No, we all fam in the club. Alright, well if you guys are done, I might go for a little.
Didn't think I'd see you in one piece
What? You said 1 hour.
I still have half a drink left.
Just drink it all right now.
Addicted.
I don't want to drink it all right now. I want to do more trials. Yes.
No more trials. We were done.
I'm
There
not
are no
done.
we beat the trials. We have
Yeah.
we have won.
Wait, we can rebirth. Guys, come on, come on. Let's do it.
That takes
Rebirth.
half an hour. I'm leaving.
No, it doesn't. It's just a normal trial.
That takes half an hour. I'm leaving.
No, it doesn't. With 3 of us, it'll take like it's an MK trial. It'll take like 15
I've
minutes.
already closed the game.
We're already
Watch it,
reading
yeah.
away.
Are you? Fine.
Yeah.
I'll do it by myself.
We raided away already.
You ready?
We're going away.
Fine, I'm going.
I'm
by
already
myself.
asleep.
Thank you. You're like already asleep? Oh.
This isn't
okay.
even me anymore. You're not you
Okay,
when
fine.
you're awake.
You're not you when you're EP. I can't get you out of the party.
Just kick me out.
I don't.
I
Fine,
leave.
get out of here, Jan. Go to bed. Oh, bye.
I left.
Bye, Jan. Bye, Wiser. Thank you for playing.
Alright,
Thank you for the
Thank you,
game.
thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you for the
night.
games. Good night. I will hang up.
Good
the lab.
night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
What's Nick's doing? I'm trying to coax Nyx into playing Nyx and One Piece. Play with me. Play. I'm gonna do a communal rebirth by myself.
She's not even streaming.
I gotta do everything by myself.
We're gonna raid into Luigi's mansion because that's also scary. But thank you guys for all the lurkers and all who was able to stop by. We'll see you guys tomorrow or Monday. Bye bye. Why's my thing frozen? Repo.
This fries, I'm taking a bath. I'll shove a rubber duck in. I grab a rubber duck and shove it up my bum.
Yeah, she's playing Luigi's Mansion right now. So let's go raid her. I haven't been able to raid her because she's usually offline.
Oh shit.
But good night, everybody. Bye bye.